Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vex Warfield. I am Vex, your host, and tonight, I don't know, there's quite a few things that are going on, today. We could talk about all kinds of different things that are happening. I mean, quite frankly, you've heard me say it before. Damn. And I'll say it again and again. Everything is connected. So, I don't know. Something about this being a big story. Something about this being this big, grand story that we're all playing parts in. Speculation of what our universe is, all the way down to how we react to everyday situations. Well, that's a big stretch, isn't it? But mysteries of life don't seem like they're that much of a mystery. Throughout all the time I've spent on this earth, I've been noticing that the simplest things are the proper direction. The more Hey, the Salt Laker. Good to see you. The more that everyone wants to complicate things, the more things need to be simple. Simple thought, simple logic. 1 + 1 = 2. The more complicated things get, the worse things get. Now, off and on throughout my live streaming career, if you could call it that, throughout the time that I've been live streaming, hey, Survival, good to see you. Throughout the time I've been live streaming, I've been talking about several different things where I lost my train of thought. Nuts. I gotta close the window. Just one moment. Yeah, that way I won't distract myself. All right, ignorance is bliss. You got that right. Yeah, speaking of which, it's Rubble. Would you want to jump up here and talk a little bit? Mysteries of life, everything it entails. Oh, yeah. Let me know if you can hear this in the background. And hopefully it's not what just happened. I'm hoping that didn't screw up my audio. Oh, great. I did something. I don't understand what I did. Now it's going to plague me because I have to get to this window so I can mute it. There it is. All right, cool. All right, can you hear the music in the back? Okay, good. Thank you. And for some reason, I made this into a whole other window. No, regardless, it works. So, yes. Keeping everything simple. Thank you, Survival. Keeping everything simple, I mean, it sounds simple, too simple. But really, what worked best, older computers or newer computers? Or better yet, older phones or newer phones? older technology phones or cell phones. I don't know about y'all, but I can't hardly hear anybody on cell phones at all. But back in the old days, landlines. You heard, I mean, every once in a while you get some static on the line or something like that, but that was just, like CIA and FBI tapping in, that crap. But you could hear crystal clear. And the point of that, me saying the FBI and CIA is you could hear those little clicks because the audio on your phone, your landlines were so clear. But no, we had to have the convenience of walking around with little microwave generators in our pocket. And then hold it up to our heads. Get headaches much? Yeah, I'll go ahead and drop it in the chat. I'm hoping it doesn't screw with any of the audio, or I'll have to take it or the music on. There you go. But keeping it simple versus having all this complexity in what we're having to deal with. This is part of the reason and part of the thing about the dumbing down of society. And it's gotten to the point where nobody wants to do anything other than surface thoughts. Welcome up, Survival.
Hey, how's it going, man? I got to mute up. I got to mute up for just a second here. I'm just getting in my truck, and then I'm going back now. So I'm listening, though, but I'll be right back.
Right on. But keeping it simple, I mean, just the example of the phones. I mean, the simplest way for us to get internet, let's say, the simplest way and the most efficient way would be to use damn it, I can't. I just lost the word for it. I want to say broadband, but
to get internet access.
Yeah, the light cable. What the hell is that called?
Fiber optic.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Fiber optics. Fiber optic is better for the environment, for everything, and it's fast as light. Yet they want to put up these microwave towers all over the place that transmit signals so that you can, have Wi-Fi everywhere. Now, we all know what microwaves do to, meats, the food we cook in it, our home microwaves. This is the same technology they use to send signals. And people put that up to your head. They're irradiating you. Now, people are going to be like, oh, they wouldn't do that. These, it wouldn't be that. People just don't like that. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a nut job for, thinking this crazy stuff, but look it up for yourself. It's there. You may have to dig a little bit and don't use Google, of course, but it's there. The information is there and it's really easy to read. You can actually read it saying, this uses microwave, frequencies to generate, signal and blah, 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 blah. It's right there. But people don't think there is real evil when we all know there's real evil. We've seen it growing up in our lives, one way or another, in one form or another. I mean, you hear it over and over. Wake up. But even that's losing its power.
Well, so when you're speaking that though, I mean, sorry, I was kind of talking to my wife there for a minute, but did you bring up 5G at all?
Well, that's the microwave tech, which would be more powerful.
Right, dude. And I keep mine in my pocket right next to my balls, man. I don't have any kids. I don't have any kids right now.
Well, keep it away 40. From your balls, man.
Well, it goes in your pocket, right?
Yeah.
So hold it up to your ear. Hold it next to your balls.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of the things that these people want to stop is population. They want population control. What better way than have you carrying around something that generates tumors and stuff like that? They want us all as medical slaves. God's night, good to see you. If you want to join in on our little just power about stuff, go ahead, drop the link. You can join us. He's always got some
Vex.
good stuff on his brain. Yeah.
Well, yeah, what's up? What's up, God's night? You were just Borging a little bit, but I think the message got out that you were inviting them up, but you were kind of breaking up there a little bit. I think that they're probably on to you, man. They got to chop you up a little bit there.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just remove this thing from my screen share. It's probably messing with the audio.
No, you sound good now. It was just chopping up for a second for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I liked it when you had the ambiance, man. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, let's see if I can put it back up. I
Yeah.
don't want it all the way up. I want it there. I just, as long if it doesn't break up my signal and stuff like that, I'll keep it up. But otherwise,
Yeah, your audio is on point right now. But for a minute there, you were breaking up.
Well, that's bound to happen. I mean, that goes into what I was saying a minute ago. I mean, the signals that we're using are not. I mean, hell, I'm doing this live stream from a wireless laptop.
Yeah.
And I got it sitting right next to my modem, basically. And it still doesn't have but a shit connection. Yet, if I was able to plug a cable into my laptop, it would run a lot better now, wouldn't it? Of course it would, because it's a direct line. And yet, everybody wants to be on Wi-Fi. They want the modems to be sending out the signal. No more plugins. That way you can have them. It's sitting anywhere in your house and it'll transmit all over the place. So you can be irradiated in every room.
Yeah, man. It's when you look at it that way, and when you think about the towers, and even when you get back into some of the Nikolai Tesla theories and some of the things that he's come up with that are involved with the technology that we have now. I mean, the music, dude. The music. I mean, is air safe? Just let it out of that. I like it, man. It's funny, but I mean, it's funny. But to think about it for real, though, like if you are in these paths of these waves, what's happened? Is there any? Has it been tested? Will anything happen to you? I don't know. Do you know?
Yeah. Hello, Stray Dog. What's up, man? Rhyme of the Ancient. Oh, that's Susanna. Hey, Susanna. How you doing? I forgot you changed it. But, yeah, I mean, everything in our society at this moment overall has geared us towards destroying ourselves. Even down to our holidays. I mean, think about it. We are conned every Christmas, Valentine's Day. I mean, we can get into all that type of thing, but for the most part, go ahead.
I have an example. When you bring up holidays, we celebrated Columbus Day for how many years? 100 years? 100, 200 years? How many years do we? I don't know. But now we can't anymore. And the people that tell us that we can't decide that they want to sell. They're erecting George Floyd statues. Okay, and so they're celebrating a freaking drug addict, dude. But you can't celebrate Christopher Columbus. It's just all right. I'm gonna mute up. You can go. I know you got a point to make.
Well, it's all designed to break us down mentally, physically, spiritually, and that's really the three parts. You get those three broken down in a person. That person is empty shell and has nothing to contribute to society. You take one of those things away, you can still function on the other two, so to speak, at least in a certain way. But they're tearing you down in those three ways to make it easier for them to make you into the cattle that you are labeled as. Because that's what they consider you. Cattle. Property. So much so that we've all heard about, or know about our social security number and birth certificate being issued to us under a corporate name. Each and every one of us are a corporate individual plus a living soul. There are two of you. And one is a legal fiction and one is a living soul, like I said. They use that legal fiction to basically turn you into cargo, property. And what they have done over the years is made that happen so that you don't even know the difference anymore. I mean, everybody's so concerned about staring into their phone that we've all seen the funny videos on YouTube and everywhere else about people walking off curbs and, getting hit by cars and all kinds of stuff like that because they weren't paying attention to nothing but their phone. I mean, the memes out there, people walk into the manhole that's uncovered, just lining up and just falling in one after another. Lemmings to the edge of a cliff. And you can't get away from it because everybody thinks that now it is their life. This thing is another appendage. I guess I could name this. I didn't really have a title for this live stream. I could call it "Bitching About Cell Phones."
Dude,
I mean, I know. Huh?
So Vex, I don't know how old you are. I mean, you might have told me at one point, but I forgot.
I'm 50.
38. Okay, you're 50. I'm 38. So you and I both watched this dependency start. I mean, I was much closer to it. I was in high school at the time cell phones even existed that were even acquirable for anybody that had any kind of money. I think you could probably get them in the 80s if you had some money, but like the normal flip phone or something. It's like the 90s, where a guy could get one, right? Well, then smartphones hit in 2010 or something like that, or 2005. I don't really remember, but let's just keep going from there. We grew up in a society where we did not have this dependency on we learned how to read maps. Yeah. We learned how to write cursive. We were not dependent on technology so much as a good amount of us learned how to change an alternator or a battery in a car,
right?
And some of us learned more than that, but it's good. It's good for you guys.
Self-reliance.
Yes, and you learn how to grow, plant a seed and stuff like that. But the kids that were born in the year 2000 are 21 now, you guys, and they've known nothing less than smartphones since they were 8 or 9, and even the kids that are coming past that, they're born in 2005. They don't know anything other than having a smartphone. They don't know about tapes or VHS or beta tapes, nothing.
Right.
So we're dealing with that now, and they're very
Cassette
moldable.
Tape? What's that?
Our government knows that they are moldable people. We've grown past. You can't teach an old dog a new trick, so we've grown past that moldable stage. So they know they can't do that to us. So they're focusing on this generation, and we're watching it. Okay, and I'm just going to mute up, see what you have to say about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I was an evil piece of shit that wanted to take over the world and the world's ideology, and the minds and hearts of all that are within, then I would take over everything that teaches anyone. That means medical colleges, the schools, all the way down to your local elementary schools. I would take over the military. I would place people in certain corporations. I would place people everywhere so that everything would change. And guess what? You want to know what that looks like? Go read a fucking newspaper right now. You'll see what it looks like.
Are you Paul Harvey right? Are you Paul Harvey right now?
If I
You're
was
Paul
the
Harvey
devil.
and out. Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely true. If you haven't actually seen Paul Harvey, If I Were the Devil, I really highly recommend it because that brilliant person nailed it. And that was years ago, back in the beginning of, like, before Alex Jones started, I think. I don't remember the date off the top of my head. Welcome, God's Night.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Thanks for coming up. Yeah, you can see the direction we're kind of going in tonight.
Yeah, what did you say? Bitching about cell phones?
Yeah.
We're bitching about cell phones, man.
Get off my lawn.
You know, there is something to be said about that, though.
Get off my Facebook.
Some of these people are becoming so entitled that they think that they can be on your lawn.
Exactly. This ain't your lawn. Yes, it is. I paid for it. It belongs to everyone. No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
You're right,
exactly.
dumbass.
What's up, God's Night? Where are you hailing from, man?
Planet Earth.
Planet Earth, dude. You guys, we're all lucky to be on planet Earth right now. You know, we're all lucky that our mom squeezed us out. Okay, man. Well, you're not that lucky then, because
No, not even. I'm pretty much in, like, if not the third
liberal
worst, the second
hellhole.
worst state in the country. Yeah.
Okay, well,
this is
in
also coming
Washington
from a
State.
guy who's up in Washington. So
Yeah. I'm in Washington,
shit.
man. Bro.
Well, shit, we're practically neighbors.
Yep.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Where's Vex? Vex, did you say you're Oklahoma? I forget. Kansas.
Missouri.
Missouri. I was kind of close. I was in St. Louis once, dude. I went to
I
that
saw
like
the word.
I went to that one, like they had just like a weird kind of tourist attraction they got there in St. Louis, Missouri. And it's like got tunnels and like ladders and things. It's like an arch. Dude, there's like there's an airplane, dude. There's an airplane on the top of a building, dude. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't recall that.
There's
What'd
an
I miss?
airplane at the top of this building, dude. In St. Louis, Missouri.
Huh.
You gotta
Wonder how
climb
long it's
through all
there.
these. You gotta climb through all these. I was there like 10 years ago.
You've been there earlier than I have, because I haven't been back to St. Louis in about 25 years.
Dude, I went and saw the Rams play the Seahawks there, man. And the Seahawks lost. And that sucked for me because I'm a Seahawks fan. And I paid to go see it.
Yeah, I used to buy into all that local rah-rah stuff.
It was fun, man. It was years ago, man. It was when it was fun. It's not fun anymore. Everything's politicized.
Yeah, everything's
Yeah, that's
fake.
when the Seahawks were actually pretty good back then. Like, what, the 80s and 90s?
Well, this was the 2000s, man. It was like the 2010s, dude. I think I went and watched Seahawks play the St. Louis Rams, dude, and we lost, dude. And I wore a Seahawks jersey there. People were giving me hell.
Man,
And
you traveled all the way.
I went all the way over there. It was so much
Yikes.
cheaper. You want to watch a game in fucking liberal Seattle? It's $1,000 for a ticket, or like $500 for a decent ticket.
Screw that, man.
Unless
I
you
could
want
do a lot more
to sit up.
$1,000.
But if you want to go watch them in St. Louis, it's like $40, and the plane ticket's $100. So it's like, well, do you do the easy math? You're like, let's go watch them in St. Louis. And then they lost.
Stray.
So I
Yeah,
did
real
the
quick.
same-
That Doug Stray, man, that
What's
last
up?
hit was for you, brother. Go ahead, guys. Sorry.
No, I'm just talking shit, man. I've been smoking weed, drinking beer.
Yeah, I considering this my Saturday.
I gotta go work in the morning. But I'm on the West Coast, so it's only 8:40 over here. And so it is for God's Night too. It's 8:40 over there for him.
Right.
Yes, sir.
But I mean, as much convenience, I'm gonna segue back into the original thing I was bitching about. Uh, Basically, ever since cell phones came out, yeah, at first they were a cool convenience and everything, and then they got more so as a crutch rather than a convenience. What would happen if you took away somebody's cell phone today? Would they just freak out or what?
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
would.
Yeah. I mean,
Then they would
I mean,
fork over. They would fork over another $1,000 just to buy a new one.
yes.
Well, it depends generationally because for you, Vex, and for me, and I don't know the age of God's night, but like I go camping every once in a while, like in the summertime, and I'll be without a cell phone for a week or two. Like, my life doesn't
Dude, I could
change,
do it
man.
without the cell phone. My first smartphone was in 2014, dude. When I was enlisted, I never had a cell phone except for the government issue cell phone, and that was just pretty much work, not personal.
But what I'm focusing on, I guess I'm not trying to derail Vex, but think about these kids that were born in the year 1995 or 2000. Man, they can't go without theirs. Like they'll break down. It's weird, man. They
Exactly.
can't function without it.
And that's part of the point I was trying to make is it's like I was talking earlier, it becomes an appendage. It is a part of you. When you first get up, you grab your phone. When you're going to bed, it's the last thing you see. I mean, it's that type of thing. Now, people like me, I quite frankly could lose my phone for a week and not realize I lost it. But for most other people that I've come in contact with, it is glued to them. They can't even go to work without having their phone, even if their job has nothing to do with the work they're actually doing.
They become dependent, dude. Like drugs and alcohol. It's a dependency now.
Well, this is something that I faced firsthand, just because I was a supervisor and I would train people at my job, and that was one of the main things. I had to make people leave their phones out in their vehicles while they worked, or else I couldn't get any work done out of them.
Yep. I'm telling you, man, it's a dependency. It's like they say, man, it's that dopamine they get from it, and it's true though. There is a chemical reaction with that device and the human element.
It's people think it connects you, but it's more a slogan than it is true, because it actually disconnects you by design.
Yeah,
I mean, I've said it before. I mean, one of my I would not have attempted doing a live stream or coming up with a YouTube channel and doing videos and stuff like that if I hadn't had the mindset of treating everybody the same. As far as I don't get into any real, heart-to-heart personal stuff anymore. I mean, I went through that route when I first started getting on the internet, and basically, how you get your internet feelings hurt and stuff like that, and basically it becomes a crutch, like what most people have used it for.
A lot of people like to be like affirmed by society or socially accepted, whereas the generations that we grew up, I still don't know God's night. I don't know. How old are you, God's night?
At this point, it doesn't matter, man. I could be 69 or
just give me a decade.
22. I was born in 1980.
All right, yeah, so we're all in the same boat, guys.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just giving you shit.
We were like, yeah. I'm the youngest guy here, though. So,
wow, by 2 years, okay, easy.
Whatever, dude. Yeah, whatever. like any of us give a fuck. But yeah, man, like it is completely a crutch when it comes to children being born into it, because we're not affected by it. We can give it up. We can go set it down and go about our day, do our shit, and go do whatever you do. These kids that were born into it, like, oh man, I feel like they would be fine. They'd be okay if their school was like, and we're just going to plant this smartphone right into your arm or whatever, and they'd be like, cool, this is going to be great. I could play with my friends on here.
Uh-huh.
We're going to put we're gonna put a smartphone right in your head, okay, kid? And you're like, cool, I can play games with my friends.
And you know what'll be next?
Yeah,
Implantable technology.
After the implantable technology, we can go straight to the movie The Matrix, plugging everybody in. Next thing you know, everybody's sitting in front of a screen that's not even there and drooling while they're hooked up to something that helps them go to the bathroom. And maybe even a little intravenous food going in.
Well, I imagine it's got to vary from person to person because some people have a lot more energy than other people do.
Well, see, that's the point. They don't want people with the energy. They want you, that slobbering, drooling idiot that has nothing but, I'm online and nothing else. I mean, we've seen this happen with kids who started out playing video games and then got connected to the internet while playing video games. And there's been problems with, the kids ever since. I mean, some of the people might even be listening that have gone through that. I mean,
it's going to have to be like, man, what do you think will displace this dependency? I feel like it's going to have to be like a breakdown of like whatever that system is at some point, like to even, unless it's just going to keep going. Like you've always
it's going
heard,
to keep going if if nothing happens with the breakdown of the Internet of Things. You got to break down the Internet of Things and get everybody back into reality. Landline, face to face, shit like that.
Have you guys heard the predictions of? I don't like to idolize Elon Musk or anything, but even him and Ethan Hawking, I think it was. They said AI would be the death of the human race.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, I meant to say Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both kind of predicted that. It's just
they're right. Well, they had, they were kind of privy to that information also.
They're in the club. We're not.
Right. George Carlin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, brother.
George Carlin.
Dude, yeah, when we want to talk about anybody predicting shit, George Carlin.
Mm-hmm. And he made us laugh about it.
He was brighter than people knew.
Oh, most definitely. There was something I posted in Discord on George Carlin just recently in my Discord, and it was basically talking about just that. And it's one of the things that got me thinking about this subject, for tonight, is how we're allowing all this stuff to tear us apart, like physically, mentally, all that. And it's all been small steps gearing us to it. It's the same thing as now that a lot of people are realizing their rights are being taken away. Well, they had to be told their rights were being taken away for them to actually realize it. And that's part of the problem. If you the more you buy into all this new slick tech, and a lot of it is really cool and slick, I admit it, but the more you buy into it, the worse off our society is going to be. It's the difference between mastering yourself and being lorded over by the tech. Right now, we're being lorded over by the tech. Everything we do is about tech. And that's easily illustrated by, looking at your screen right now.
Okay, I gotta share a breakthrough with this tech a little bit.
Okay.
So some of these Zoomers did something good for once, okay? These younger guys that are in their 20s, early 20s. What they did is they started it's actually such a brilliant thing, and I don't know why anybody didn't think about this before now. They started a website where they just follow what Congress members invest in, and they just invest in what Congress members invest in, specifically Nancy Pelosi. And they've just been following Nancy Pelosi's investments in the stock market and they just copy what she does, dude, because it's undisclosed. And they're like getting rich and shit. And
That's awesome.
it's actually showing that it's not her, it's her husband, is what they claim. Okay, that's how they get away with it. Nancy Pelosi
Right.
doesn't do any trading on the stock market. It's only her husband. He doesn't know anything about anything. But these guys, these kids, have just started making every move she makes, and like they're getting money.
That's awesome.
So that's
and-
one technological thing that may be a plus, and it might even like oust her for insider trading.
Well, I mean, everybody involved in this damn corporate government needs to be ousted for insider trading because it's all they do.
Yeah,
Now,
there's
there's a few people who aren't included into it, but for the most part, yeah. Once they set, basically raise their hand and swear to that oath, then they become a member, and they get the benefits. Hell, just ask the lobbyist.
Dude, don't you issue that kid that like had the light bulb above his head, and he's like, "Let's just copy what Nancy Pelosi does."
Well, if you think about it, that's exactly
you-
what it.
You put it on 4chan, and everybody's like, "Let's do it, guys."
That's what basically, what do they call them? Speculative bankers or speculative investments. Or damn it, I'm not. Basically, they have people who go, "Yeah, give us your money, and we'll go ahead and invest it for you." That type of stuff. That and now the kids. I mean, they've got full access to all that information, and somebody who puts thought into it, like they obviously did. They went, "Hey, they're making a bunch of money. Why don't we just do the same thing?" They go,
Some
"Oh,
kid,
okay,
just
let's
some
go watch a
kid,
few
dude.
videos and talk to some people, and we can do the same thing." Bam, millionaires.
Just some kid did it. He was just like, "Let's just do it," and him and his buddies were like, "All right." And they just started going at it. And they made a lot of money, and so there was an expose on it, and they're starting to show it now. Like today, just came out today that kids have been doing this,
Yeah.
and I don't know why people are upset about it. I think that if you're when I say kids, I mean like probably like in their 20s,
Right.
But yeah, man, it's how can anybody be upset about that?
It's because they're envious, dude. They're envious and inadequate, and like, oh shit, well, why didn't I think of doing that? Or shit, why didn't I ask questions and learn about it? It's all it is, dude. It's inadequacy.
And you can also think about it like this. Now that our culture has been dumbed down, how many people would actually be doing that if they weren't dumbed down?
Well, many more.
There would be many more. I had this conversation earlier today with some other people. I mean, the way that I described it to the people I was talking to, it's weird. I could be considered a redneck or a hick in certain circles of, say, like city people or city liberals or something like that. But if I was going to go to country folk, to some rednecks, I would be considered a city liberal.
Yep.
So I'm like stuck in the middle there. Where I'm like, I'm not a city guy. I'm not a country guy. Like, I'm a free thinker. And there's some of us that are like that out here. And sometimes it's weird when you have a good idea, you don't want to tell everybody, but look at these kids that are they made a fool out of Nancy Pelosi is what they did. So
absolutely,
I'm glad that they did that.
Yeah. Salt Lakers said Nancy buys a lot of booze. Yeah, that's for sure. And ice cream, evidently.
Breast implants.
Yeah, fake faces and yeah. Damn, she's so dumb. But she's not dumb.
Nancy likes to get a blowout in the middle of a pandemic. Air quote pandemic, where the pandemic is so bad that you have to start firing hospital staff. So, I mean, come on, man. And it's just such a pandemic that you can't celebrate Christopher Columbus. You have to celebrate Fentanyl Floyd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
did you see the manhunt
backwards
that went
world.
on for that skateboarder that threw paint on the George Floyd golden idol? A city or a statewide, national wide freaking manhunt for that skateboarder, dude. Just because he threw paint on that false idol.
You know what? I have a problem with that too. So that bronze statue of George Floyd. I don't know if you saw the full picture. There's other people. There's other statues around it. They're all
Yeah.
the same. They're all the same type of statue.
Yeah.
They were mass produced. It's like
Yeah.
it's like a 3D printed statue. Like there wasn't an artist to like spend a bunch of time. It was like computer driven 3D printed statue. Like we'll print these 3D statues out. It'll be real cool and easy. You just cut these CNC things out, throw it on there. It wasn't an artist that spent any time doing any of that. So
Well,
it's
see-
just it really cheapens it. It cheapens all of it. You know,
Well-
normally when you put a statue up, one artist does it. You know,
Well, doing true art requires critical thinking, at least in some way. Now, I'm not saying it's all critical thinking, but it requires you to expand and see what others don't see in something. So, in that regard, they didn't want to have an artist do it, not unless it was a fully woke artist, of course, and they would have done all kinds of crazy stuff with it.
it's just straight
But-
up DNC propaganda.
How cheap is it to 3D print something like that and have it easily replaceable because you can 3D print it?
Without critical thinking or thought process into like, hey, maybe an abstract or an obtuse shaped George Floyd, something extravagant, something weird, outrageous, what art is, that expression of that individual. Nope. Mass produced, it's easier.
Exactly. And it only requires what use of wrench, maybe a crane or something like that if it's heavy, to put it in place. I mean, those hands-on tool usage, doesn't take a lot of critical thinking. I mean, I'm not putting down mechanics or anything like that.
They probably
but
paid city guys to do
I
it.
can put it on.
They probably paid city guys. They probably the only government spending was really the city guys to mount that stuff, and that was it.
Can I ask you guys a question? I know you guys are both older than me, but if you were to do something monumental, or if you were to sacrifice yourself for a cause that was noble, and you ended up not living, and would you like to be memorialized by a 3D printer or by a fucking artist?
By an artist.
It's an easy question.
But actually, I wouldn't care about being memorialized.
Yeah,
at all.
exactly. But I mean,
But,
going by
yeah,
what
I
he
get your
said,
point.
artist, yeah. But me personally, I wouldn't want to be memorialized.
Well, it depends on what you may or may not do, dude. You never know what you're going to do, what this life's going to
The
bring
people
to
that knew me, would know me. Good, that's
Yeah.
good enough for me.
Yeah, me and Vex kind of had this talk about like with my personal stuff, and I don't want to be known or anything about what I've done or what I do. I don't want to be known for it.
Well,
That's
you
just
can't
me, though.
say- you can't say that yet, dude. You never know what you may or may not do.
Well,
Dude,
if I
your
wanted to
life's
be
not over
known,
yet.
if I wanted to be known, then my real name would be on this YouTube channel.
Well, what if you did something real? Yeah. My name's Survival. So
See, then there you go.
I'm not looking for fame. I'm
Same
looking
here,
for
man.
truth.
Neither, yeah, man. I'm just here to impart what I know and to learn from others. That's it. Is sharing and learning. That's pretty much what that's pretty much what I enjoy doing when I'm online and stuff like that.
It's just pretty much that way with me. I mean, I would love to have thousands and thousands of followers, but I'm not going to go out and beg people to listen to me. I mean, that's not in me. And for those of you who don't know me that well, I won't monetize either, because information is not monetizable. It should not be.
I'm a lot the
And-
same way. I'm a lot the same with that. I don't. I'm going. I probably will monetize, but I'm never going to ask for money. I'm on my way to getting monetized here soon. Like,
Somebody
I'm
said,
getting there, but like I've never asked for money. I don't need money from anyone. I like to have conversations with guys like you guys, and
Hey, what's up, Panther?
"Hey, Panther,
Yeah.
good to see you." I'm not doing this for the money. I work a job, and I will always work a job as long as I can work. That's just how I am. I have fun on vacations away from the job. I like having downtime and all that stuff, but I drive myself crazy if I'm not doing something. So I gotta be working. So I can't just, I mean, especially in these times, I know how difficult things are right now because, quite frankly, it's been difficult on me. And I'm talking financially, mentally, all that stuff. But I don't want your money. I want you to listen. I want you to engage. I want you to give me a new idea to think about. I want you to challenge my way of thinking so that I make sure that, I think I'm on the right path. I'm looking for that. I'm here to converse and engage with you.
Iron sharpens iron, man. We're supposed to sharpen each other's minds, or challenge each other. Disagree. We don't always have to. We don't have to agree. We don't have to be yes, you're right. No, it's what, Vex. I don't agree with that one, man. This is what I think about. Stuff like that. It's got to be that way. There has to be discourse.
the
Absolutely.
people that I surround myself with, I think would all be in agreement with you. I don't think I know anybody that would want to come and challenge you for any reason. Even in the Black community or the Hispanic community, those are just the people that I surround myself with. And I also have a big Filipino following, and they're very conservative and based in their ways too. I don't think anybody would come and challenge your logic.
Well, it's not even challenging, I guess. I like different points of view, and the more points of view that I can file away in my mental Rolodex, the better off I am able to see the big picture and the small picture. So, I mean, for me, it's a process of learning. I want to know as much as possible before I kick this bucket. And that's what I think I'm meant to do. It's just learn and learn as much as possible. Because I know that eventually what I have learned is going to benefit somebody else. Because I'll be able to teach them something that they can use forever and teach their kids and other people and so on. So this is what I'm for. This is what I'm going to do. And I know I have a lot more access to brains on the internet than I do in person, just because everybody in person is a place to be and no time. But on the internet, people want to converse. That's why we're here. So let's do it. And it's, like I said, it's not challenging, so to speak. It's more giving me more information. It's like, I think personally that flat Earth's totally absurd, but I understand the merits of it and where it comes from, and I understand that how it could be. I listened to that point of view and incorporated with all the stuff that I have already gathered. A lot of it doesn't fit, but some of it does.
Well, so that's why I chose challenge, dude. Because if you're gonna say, "Oh, well, let's debate or be not partisan, like bipartisan about it or partisan," that's still challenging because you're still gonna question that person's answer to something or their thought or their reasoning or the hypothesis, or their conclusion. You're still challenging it by questioning it. It's just challenge is just like a heavy word for some people, I guess. But I mean, we've challenged each other, dude, but not to the point to where we're gonna. Well, I'm gonna challenge you to a duel, Vex. Nothing like that.
God.
It's just we discuss things and
get off my lawn
or learn. What?
It's
Dude,
like, get off
you
my
guys
lawn.
let's do some dueling here. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, like,
But,
hey, I'm on your lawn, Vex. I challenge you now. I'm on your lawn.
He's got a sword. He's got a fucking sword with him. He's God's knight. He's got all decked out in like armor and shit. Come out, Vex.
Nah,
Duel me. All right,
Lost Knight
I'm
has
gonna
an
mute up,
AR-15,
guys.
man.
I'm gonna be out for. I gotta drive down the store. I'll be back in a little bit.
All right, so
Right on him.
see shit like that, man. It's good stuff. We gotta. I don't know, man. See, that's the thing, dude. See, I know humility and I know humor. You know, we can't take offense to shit, dude. But what he said was pretty funny. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess the way I see the word challenge is it's kind of like a competitive type of head-to-head type of thing. So that's why I was saying, don't see it as a button heads type of thing. So yeah, that was my take anyway.
Yeah, but there's people going to challenge you, dude. I mean, they're going to tell
absolutely.
you you're wrong, Vex, or you know what? I do not agree, Vex. You know, what you're saying is just completely absurd. You know,
Yeah,
I just
there's a
chose
whole
that word because
corporate government of it.
it's a general challenge. Is a general. It's a blanket word, dude. It covers, like I said, a discussion, a disagreement, someone
Yeah.
questioning you. You know.
Yeah, it's opposition to one thing or another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Understandable.
don't agree with your boots, Vex. They're not real leather. They're pleather.
How dare you?
How can you say they're leather when they're pleather?
How dare you accuse me of having pleather? But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I one of the reasons why I started getting up on people's panels and stuff like that is because, quite frankly, I didn't understand their point of view. So I wanted clarification, and that's how it all started.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I ended up doing a live stream myself. It's just because I wanted clarification on something. So I got somebody else up here to talk about it because I needed clarification. I need as much input as possible because if I miss a point of view, that means I have an incomplete picture, and I can't have an incomplete picture. Well, as best as I can anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But one of the things
Vex, that is that is noble, dude. That is very commendable. That's exactly how I feel too. That's why I try to be or like engage with all the communities, man. Like all the different communities that are on YouTube. I really try to get in there and meet them all. I meet a lot of cool people, you know. Like that's how I met you guys.
Right. Yeah, and that's one of the things that's I got to actually work on being better at is doing networking. I'm working on it, but yeah, I got a little ways to go on it. I'm not used to trying to promote at least myself. I'm better at promoting other people than I am myself. But yeah, going back to the issues of, get off my lawn and the phones and everything. I actually believe there's going to come a time when they're going to have to do without it, and it's going to be cold turkey for them. And it, to the point of the internet going down, or at least parts of the internet going down. And these people are going to freak out. So how are we going to deal with a bunch of people freaking out? Maybe even having mental breakdowns.
Oh yeah, dude, they're going to be running outside of their 10-story building windows because they can't connect to the internet or check their social internet life, and they're going to lose their shit, man. I mean, a good portion, Microfarmers at 80%, and I can kind of agree over time it would be 80% before the year end if there was all to happen in a year's time. About 80% of people will probably be gone, and the majority of them is because they don't have that dopamine fix of their internet social life.
Well, not to mention all the money that's being wrapped up in internet type things.
Right. I mean, their lives are connected to the internet. Everybody's lives, pretty much. Well,
exactly.
For the most part, if you like me, mine's minimal. I have a
Mhm.
small cyber footprint, but it's still a footprint.
Yeah. I mean, I've told you the story about how, from the beginning, I've been very, very low key on information on the internet with what
Yeah.
I provide. And yeah, I'll be affected, but
Well,
even though I've minimalized everything. Go ahead.
I mean, God's night says, he'll be minimally affected. I have to disagree. Even the most boomer old person, like in their 60s or 70s, everyone will be affected if the internet, or if there is what do they call it? Is it CME, or is it what is the
OnlyFans.
they attack electronics, when they attack electronics or like bring the grid down, if like
EMP.
the grid goes down, EMP. That's going to affect everybody. Or if just even the most strict rules, if some internet company decides that they don't want to have a conservative guy, they've already been doing this.
Oh yeah, they have been doing it, man. I don't agree with that. That's obvious. I mean, if you're not going to be a good little socialist, part of their
right. You'll get canceled on the bank.
Yeah, you didn't get your shot, or you didn't speak out or snitch on somebody. Well, you know what? We're gonna have to cut you off. Sorry, we're gonna cut you off for a month, 2 days, 3 days. They're gonna punish you. They're already punishing.
Here's what I think is that we're seeing this in the airlines right now, at least this week. The airlines are really stepping up, and I'm really fucking glad about that. I hope they keep doing it. They've been canceling flights, and it's been really hard. And it's going to be getting the same way with hospitals. People are striking, which I think they should be, because of this federal mandate and all this. And so they're going to get to a point where it's literally like we're already here, where it's we're butting heads on. There's two different sides butting heads. It's the people that have ran the course, and there's people that don't want to run the course, and it's going to be like, all right, well, what are you going to do? Well, who's going to fold? Because somebody's going to fold, and we'll see what happens. I hope it wasn't already all figured out before it happened, but I don't know. I just got home.
Well, welcome home. Well, that kind of illustrates it. I mean, the opposition being created, opposition being manifested. This is what works best for them, and them, I have in quotes, is basically all the people who want to see everything torn apart. Whatever name you want to give them.
Yeah.
The bad guys. Ones that want to take away all rights and replace it with basically a bunch of bullshit that has proven not to work.
Well, if you have all the money, then it's a game at that point anyway. Give all the money. But what does it matter to you? You want to see money? You want to see it torn apart?
Money is one of those things that's just a tool, right? And people don't treat it as such. But the people who have the money know it is a tool. They don't pay for things when they go out because they know they're good for it. They have the money. They don't have to, whatever. But it's a tool. Everybody's got to think about it as that. We the people who use all this currency that's out there, we're the ones who give that the power to work.
Correct.
If we all decided...
You said it correct, Vex. It's currency, not money.
Right. All this currency. Hey, Sean. Hey, I'm going to drop that link, see if you want to come up there too. But yeah, all this is a tool to be used. If tomorrow everyone in Missouri decided that this currency is junk, then it becomes junk like that. As fast as we make it happen. Because we're the ones who prop it up and make it valuable. if we wanted to, we could change all our currency into actual goods instead.
Dude, marbles could be currency, and they used to do that. Shiny, pearls,
Yep.
gold nuggets, something shiny, something valuable, something that had value.
Yeah, it reminds me of the video game Fallout. They use caps because
Bottle
there's a
caps.
limited amount.
Yep.
I mean, and that's one of the things they started backing or making with gold is because there was only a certain amount they found. And every time they found some, it lowered the value of that gold.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it works. So in the video game Fallout, they use bottle caps because nobody's making any more bottle caps. There's only a certain amount available. So they have a standard rate.
And once you had that, that special bottle cap with the red star, yeah, you were pretty rich with that red star. Just that red star bottle cap, just one. And I think
Yeah.
there was 1,000 red star bottle caps or something like that.
Yeah, that was a part of a little side quest thing. You're supposed to gather up a bunch of them to win a prize, but the prize was just something ridiculous. I don't remember what though.
Yeah,
But
I think
yeah.
it was a shooty doll, like a little bobblehead doll or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was something where you're like, oh, that's
Yeah, no, I
bullshit.
did that one, the red star bottle cap.
I like that video game. But it has they thought about a lot of things in that video game, which well, you can draw parallels. It's alternate timeline on it and everything like that. But for the most part, you can see the vaults themselves were scientific experiments being run on the people.
Yep.
And it was just kept undercover, under wraps, and it was all government experiments and stuff like that. And we can see the same thing playing out in today. I mean, that goes into another subject, but let's see. What was I was wanting to make a point about the currency. What was it? No, I made that point. Okay. We the people have the power to just basically say no.
Yeah,
And
you
what are
see
they
what
going to do?
Bartering with goods and whatnot instead of,
I mean,
the currency.
if one's valuable to one person, it may not be valuable to another. That's the reason why currency was starting to be used, so we could have one thing that was good to be traded, agreed upon to be traded on goods.
Yep.
Now, it was a stand-in, something that made it a little convenient, so you didn't have to, go to the store, get milk, and have to take 2 chickens with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was something more convenient to carry around with you. Well, if I give her silver coins instead of chickens, I have more room in my truck, that type of thing. And plus, I get to keep my chickens and, have chicken for dinner. And it was the convenience of it. And that's how a lot of this starts. Now, we, as humans, we come up with a lot of great ideas. A lot of them. So very many. And a lot of them are really good. But a lot of them are really, really freaking bad. But if it's learned, and if you accept it and grow up with it, within it, then you don't even think about it as being bad. Just like a lot of people with cell phones today.
Yeah, it becomes universal.
Exactly. I've told this little story and given an example lots of times. If you buy a brand new puppy and you put it on the porch, chain it there, that's the place where the puppy stays. Got a little dog house for it and everything. Food, bowls, all that. And you get that puppy and that's, put it there. And then every day when you come home from work, you kick that puppy. Every day until 18 years later, you walk up and not kick it. Walk inside, right past it. What's that dog gonna think? It's gonna think something's wrong. It's gonna freak out. It's gonna panic because it doesn't know any different. You have taught that dog to accept that kick as love.
Stockholm, man.
I mean, you don't abuse the dog any other way or anything. You feed it, you pet it every once in a while, but every time when you come home, you kick it. So it expects that kick. And when you don't deliver that kick, you freak out. Or
Yep.
it freaks out. I mean, we can all probably think of examples that correlate with that. But conditioning is what's been done to all of us, no matter how old any of us are. And these phones are part of that, just like the internet's made part of it. I mean, it sucks. It really does, because I like my computer. I do. I like being able to do cool stuff on it. But if the electricity went out tomorrow, I'd be all right with that, because I'm old enough to where I remember before computers.
Yep.
I mean,
Well,
I remember
that brings
rotary
up another-
phones.
That brings up another point, guys. Like, there's a lot of people invested in cryptocurrency.
Absolutely.
If the internet goes out, where does that go?
Well, see, unless we get hit with a CME, the internet itself will not fully go out. There'll still be pockets of internet. You'll just have to search for them, and you'll have to search for them by IP. I mean, it'll be like that. All this convenient search stuff will be the only. Well, think about the movie The Matrix again. In order for them to hack the Matrix, they had to create their own stream, bootleg it. It'll be more or less that type of thing. They've foreshadowed.
Yeah, I see that. I can see
Yeah.
that.
It's called seeding. You have to look for a seed. Like
Yeah,
if
'cause-
you're trying to
Right.
connect to something you don't know, but you have the information, you're looking for a seed to connect to now. Not like just logging on right away and everything automatically happens. You got to manually get into it now.
Well, think about what one of the characters said. I don't remember which one, but he goes, "Well, think about it. All the the programs that you run are all done by the Matrix. So in order to log on normally, you would be going through the Matrix, and they'd see you right away.
Yep.
I mean, you had to go through back doors and
Go through the
connect
back door?
and connect in a different way. It'll be just like that, unless you are a part of the system. You will have to, in order to access the internet, you're going to have to pirate it. And that's going to be difficult to do, because it'll be easily traceable, because right now we already know they have programs out that can trace, where everybody's coming from. They just have to focus it and send it.
So that bothers me a little bit, and for guys like us that are, of the age that we are now, we're invested in things. We have money in banks. If they cancel, if somehow they have power to cancel us out in some way, like, at what point? What will we do? Like, if you can't pay your bills, then they're going to force everybody into poverty. Like, what
Absolutely.
the fuck?
Well, that's the plan.
Yeah, I can
that's
see it. I can
dependency.
It's
It's all about-
purging. Go ahead, Vix. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's all about control and dependency.
Yeah, they're
That's all.
going to purge us all off the system to be put onto a new system, but under their control, complete control, where we can't even say no. If we say no, you're done. You're
Yeah.
done. No point.
1984.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You guys have seen that. I mean, it's all building up. So you guys have seen the meme that somebody made where it was like some like early 20s people, and they were saying, we voted to make home ownership, or we voted for more property tax. We didn't vote for higher rent. And, they're all confused. Like, why is my rent higher? And it's like, well, you guys voted for higher property tax,
Right.
or higher property, whatever, maybe. You guys get it. And like,
Yeah.
that's what they're breeding in these kids. Like, they don't understand. It's just,
And
Will
that
they
brings
wake
us
up?
back. Oh, go ahead.
will they wake up?
Yeah. Will they? I mean, it brings us back to the culture itself and the cell phone culture. I mean, I kind of thought about this today. I don't know if it pans out or not, but man, it's not a pandemic of, this flu. It's a pandemic of stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a headline society. They only know the first sentence.
They don't
When there's a
read
whole
the
other
article.
story.
They're
Yeah.
not reading the articles. They're reading the headlines.
Yeah, and I'm not even just talking about news. I'm just talking about life in general.
It's like what would be the word for that? Just face value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything is surface and shallow.
Yeah.
Like
Topical.
kids not
Topical.
even knowing how to use a damn can opener. That type of thing.
Not to mention the double speak, man. For example, like a term of service. Blah blah blah. You have free speech, but blah blah blah. You can't say this about this blah 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 or that blah blah blah. So where's the free speech at?
Right.
Well, now when you say double speak again, there are certain people that can say those words.
Why no? Not us though, because again, we're not in the club.
Well,
We're not-
I mean, there may be words we can say, but other people can't. But there are, if you are air quote artist or a rapper,
Right. In the
you
club.
you can drop whatever the fuck you want. You can say
Right.
whatever the hell.
Because they're in the club.
If you say, yeah, you're right. I follow you. Yeah, you're dead on, dude.
We're the common dude. We're the ones that they call the common people. We're the common people. We're
Peasants.
yeah. We have to them we have no power, dude. But that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of what we can do is just they keep us asleep,
There's
divided.
a lot more of us than there are.
Right. They keep us asleep, divided, confused. All that stuff. But again, that's military tactic, man.
Yeah, which is propaganda.
Right.
They're really gaining way though with what Vex is laying out with the culture that we're seeing now, especially in the generation they're producing now that is completely 100% dependent on internet and on cell signal and everything. It makes us so susceptible to any other country that wants to just smash that generation, because what the hell are they going to do? They don't know anything other than that.
Now imagine you can't have the internet unless you get vaccinated.
Yep.
Don't think that's not coming.
Or pay your bills. Like, are you vaccinated? No. Well, you can't pay your bill here. You got to do it online. Well, I can't access online because I don't have the shot. Well, we're sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will
Painting
back
everyone.
that shit. We'll be on there. We'll be on there somewhere.
But they're painting us into
We'll make
a
our
corner.
own internet with whiskey and hookers.
I remember the
You know,
internet of
that's
the
what
old
happened.
days was people talking.
Yeah.
America Online.
Those free discs.
Oh yeah, a couple.
Oh man, don't get me started on that. That was
10
Net
free,
Zero,
10 free hours.
Lycos.
Man, do you guys remember remember when they called floppy disks? Here,
Yeah.
somebody answer me this. Why did they start calling those rigid disks floppy disks? Because they used to
everybody-
have the real floppies though, like the ones you could bend. Remember
Yeah.
that?
They kept calling them floppy disks just because they were the same thing, just in a different way.
Yeah, I know, but still, if they weren't floppy. They were pretty rigid.
Yeah.
But man, anybody that remembers that shit, come on.
Oh yeah.
These kids don't know that shit. They never lived through that. They didn't. How many kids do you think learned the Dewey Decimal System?
Yeah, I had to learn that back in the 80s, the old library.
Does anybody learn that anymore?
Do they even know who Dewey Decimal is?
Wait, is that
Was
think
he
it's
a
a guy.
president?
his name?
Think
Is
it's
Dewey
a
Decimal?
Was he one of the
Mr.
presidents with the powdered wig?
Oh my god!
What, did he have a
Yeah.
TV show? A podcast?
Was that on
Who-
after Power Rangers?
Dude, but after Teletubbies, man.
Oh yeah. Those
Do you guys
stupid
remember the
things.
first DVD that came out? The first DVDs
The
ever?
first
Laserdisc?
DVD? What was it?
It was as big as it was huge. It was a huge.
Oh, are you talking
Yes.
about those? They were called something different though. Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, I
when I
remember.
was in school.
They had a specific.
They're
name,
laser
but
discs.
They're like huge.
They
though.
call
Yeah,
them
laser
laser
discs.
discs.
Yeah, laser disc. I think.
Yeah, big
Yeah, I
ass.
remember
it
It
was-
looked like it was like basically a
Discs that come
record.
out? Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was-
huge.
It looked like a record.
Yep. And I had cool
Pop.
pictures on them.
Pop that thing in there, and teachers to show you the future a little bit,
Yep.
give you some hope.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're gonna be living in a dystopian future in no time.
Well, that's
you little bastard.
That's another thing. That was another thing that just kind of reminded me. Blu-ray players. Those are
Blu-rays,
purposefully made to hurt people.
Yeah.
Dude, I had one for a
Blue-
little while.
Blu-rays are damaging to at very least, eyesight.
Yeah.
And yet
that's what it
everybody was watching
with the
Blu-ray
Blu-ray.
players.
I got Blu-rayed, man.
Yeah, you did. I mean,
I got-
there's other effects too, like
I still got
hypnotize.
20/20 vision though.
Well, yeah, but it also affects your brain.
They Blu-rayed me, dude.
Basically, making you a drooling idiot if you watched it a whole hell of a lot.
That's why I'm the way I am. Probably. They Blu-rayed me, dude. What the heck happened, man? They Blu-rayed me. All right, guys, I'm muted.
Well, think about it. The flicker rates that have on your phones and stuff like that. It's the same thing with that was Blu-ray. That was the initial coming out as the flicker rates because they were putting it on the discs so it could be played on the screen because they didn't control the screen flicker rate as well as they wanted to.
Yeah,
So
blue
Dude, do you remember?
flickers at a way quicker rate, and
Yeah.
that's why your phone has a blue light toggle on and off option. Same with your more modern laptops or PCs. They have the same thing now. So a lot of people don't know that you can turn off that blue light.
Mhm.
You can turn off that. You can filter it out.
Yeah, my
And
Blu-ray
you
is always
should.
off. But hey, man, do you remember? You guys remember when you could buy them Blu-ray DVD players, and you can get a TV that could do 3D TV in your house? And you,
Yeah.
you have to buy the glasses.
Yeah.
But you had to charge the glasses. You had to charge them with the USB cable.
Lame.
And I was charging these things off of this deal. Man, it gave me a fucking headache. Like it made me feel bad, man. When I was trying to watch this movie and like it gave me a headache in my house. And I thought this was like new technology. I thought I was balling out. And I'm like, this shit sucks. And it straight up gave me a headache. And I
Yeah.
took it off and I never did it again.
Yep. Same
Good.
with a lot of the VR that came out.
Oh yeah, VR fucked a lot of people up when it first came out. Still is
And-
kind of.
Well, you know the VR headsets that were made to put your phone in? Those things were horrible.
Yeah, I heard about those. I knew a few people that they got sick wearing those.
I feel like some idiots like fight through the headache. They're like, well, this is okay. It hurts
Yeah.
my head. I'm just going to deal with it. Like as soon as it happened to me, I'm like, I don't like this at all. This is out. I'm done with it. Like, It's
Mhm.
feeling weird. It feels weird. I'm done. Never going to do it again. But there's certain people that are like, I love it. I fucking love it. That's all I watch.
Well, it
You're like,
creates an
"What?"
imbalance. It creates an imbalance, and some people attribute it to, dopamine and all that. I mean,
Euphoric.
yeah, euphoric. I mean, people used to do drugs. Now they put on their fucking headgear and go online.
Dude, you ever heard of them? You ever heard of people doing DMT?
Yeah, that's
Man,
what.
that's like- everybody's considering it.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Nah.
Just because, quite frankly, the human body can produce its own to do basically to cause what effects happen. So you can actually do it naturally rather than taking some other substance to do it.
Yeah, I see a lot of weird shit on my own right now.
I believe
I don't
that.
need something to induce it.
I believe that, Vex. I really do believe that, man. That's where I'm at with it.
If you control your meditations, you can actually do the things that they talk about doing.
Yeah, the human body and the human mind is capable of everything.
Yeah, it is. It's just they do it synthetically. Our bodies are capable of doing it naturally, chemically.
Yeah.
But they make synthetic
And I
Stuff.
wonder if people, I wonder if people get so messed up that they need some of the synthetic stuff. But I don't know. Like, did you guys ever do drugs when you're kids or anything like that?
Yeah,
Not as a
I
kid.
experimented.
Or dude, I
Yeah,
was,
I drank at a young age. I tried. I tried it, smoking too, but I didn't do pot until like maybe when I was 23, 24. But that was just because of an injury
man.
that bugged me.
Yeah, dude, I was like thrown right into the mix when I was a kid. And like I was smoking weed when I was like 12 and shit. And like I was we did acid when I was 15. And that was like a super eye opener. Why are you laughing, dude? It was cool, man. Like I didn't do too much. I just did enough. And it was like fucking really, I felt like I had met, like, I can't explain it. I'm not going to explain it like I want to because it sounds corny and dumb. Because like, I thought I met God and shit, but I was 15, right? So, I was 15 years old, dude. It's just like a mind altering thing, man. You get all those visions and shit. I can't explain it, man.
Yeah.
But then I was doing mushrooms and shit when I was like 17. And then I started doing cocaine when I was like 18. And that shit will pump you up, dude. You will feel like the baddest motherfucker around. You'll feel so good about yourself. But I met my wife, and she was like, "You have to stop doing all drugs, or else I'm gonna leave you."
There you
And
go.
I-
Good
And I
ultimatum.
was like, "Well, that'll be easy for me." And I fucking did it, dude. So I'm like, I'm still married to her
Nice.
now, 20 years later. But
Awesome.
Yeah, congrats, man.
I
That's
still
good.
smoke some weed every now and then.
Yeah,
I
but that's
drink
not going to make
I
you want
drink
to
beer.
go run in traffic and feel you're like you're invincible.
No, that's not what acid or shrooms does either, though. That don't get it wrong, man.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
just
I'm not promoting it. I
exaggerating.
don't want to promote it, but man, those are some eye opening psychedelics, man. Changed a little bit of me, I think, and I don't know if it was good or bad. It might have been
Yeah.
good, it might have been bad. I don't know, but I'm still here, and I don't do that stuff no more.
Right
Conservative American man now, guys.
on. Yeah, I tried a few things, but one of the things I learned early on in that type of, I guess, phase of my life, I learned early on that I don't like feeling out of control of myself, and it didn't take very long for me to go, and try a few things, and then go, yeah, I don't want none of that.
So Veritas.
Hey, Veritas, good to see you. And Sean, bike safely. Watch out for that truck. But yeah, for me, it was real easy for me to not to get into it, just because like I said, tried a few things and decided that real quickly that wasn't for me. But it wasn't until I was like 20, 21, something like that, when I started actually smoking on a regular basis, because I found the difference was that it actually enabled me to calm my mind a little bit, which, I guess most people can understand.
Well, when you say smoking, do you like, would you say that would be indica or sativa or just cigarettes?
No, well, cigarettes didn't happen until, kind of the same time. But no, I'm talking about
probably
fucking
indica.
I'm talking like regular weed, smoking.
Oh, I forget you got a couple years on me,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, so yeah, I remember those times when weed was weed.
Yep, when
You,
weed
you
was
never
weed.
you never knew what kind of strain you got.
Yeah, I mean,
You
every
were
once
just
in a while.
buying, you were just
Every
smoking
once
some
in a
weed.
while. Hey, Oki, good to see you. But
Hey,
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
kids,
just
yeah,
if
kids,
it was good or bad.
experiment.
Yeah, basically it was whether the weed was good or bad. I mean, you paid for, ditch weed sometimes. Sometimes you got stuff that was just awesome. But that's just roll the dice. Because we didn't have all these, everybody's a
fancy weed,
freaking, chemist and shit now that works on weed plants. But that's another thing that,
The fuck is a nuclear strain? What? Like nuclear family, nuclear strain weed, or it's
Oh, man.
atomic?
nuclear strands. Awesome.
Dude.
So Fallout is coming true.
Ultra
Fallout weed.
strands.
Fucking nuclear weed. Chariot Rain, good to see you.
Yo, Chariot, dang, it's been a long time, Chariot Rain. It's been a long time since I haven't seen that man around.
But yeah, some of this stuff now, I mean, Nate could talk to you about that. He's pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah.
About
He
what?
growing. He
grown, yeah.
he's I'm sure it has good shit, but a
Over
lot
here,
of stuff
Washington, California, it's legal, man. We can grow it, and people are like really getting it down, man.
Yeah, Nate's from Colorado.
Yeah,
Colorado's got it down too.
You have to think about it like this. The way they're doing with farmers and seeds, they're doing with the seeds of pot plants too.
Oh, yeah. They got to.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay, fine, we'll make it legal. We're just going to tax the crap out of you and make it a pain in the ass. So basically, we can make you all into criminals anytime we want. Don't slip up. And the seeds themselves is what I'm really getting to. Now, everybody knows how much they've got basically taken all the farmer seeds and saying you have to keep buying seeds because these seeds won't produce more seeds.
Jefferson said plant it everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
That shit everywhere. Johnny
For real.
Pot Plant Seed.
Yep. But yeah, they've changed it so the seeds don't produce seeds anymore. I mean, and if they do, it's only can produce seeds for a limited time, or the plants are bad, that type of thing. So a lot of the stuff have to go into the heirloom seeds and things of that nature. But I don't know how that translates into pot seeds. But
there's also I also have a theory though that in certain blue states, there may be studies or something that a populace that is, lack of a better word, stoned, is easier to control.
Yeah.
So you get all these people buying weed all the time, like you're saying, you can incriminate them at any time because it's a federal crime,
right?
If you really need to.
Built-in loopholes.
Even then, the little the workhorses or whatever, the minions, the peasants, they're just gonna work the way you want them to, and they're gonna get stoned at home and stay there, and then go to work the next morning.
Edibles would go under the same principle, Panther. If it depends on who's making the edibles and what they're using to put into the edibles.
And don't get me wrong, man. Like I use, but I still try to keep an open mind about why. I use it for myself, for self-medicated, but when I see the younger generation, I remember what I was like when I was young, and they could really control me when I was that age. And now that it's all legal, you can just go buy it anytime. I don't know. It was a lot more fun when it was illegal.
At first, when Chariot Rain typed that, I didn't read it fully, so I thought "make" was smoke.
Dude, I'm always smoking some butter.
I smoke edible butter.
Yeah, I think that's a process though. You have to really cook it down and strain it out. And if he's really doing it, then I've had some bad butter before where you can make brownies with it, but it's still really green and bad. But some of these guys are extracting shit with butane and stuff, and you can really get. I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, then you would want to talk to Nate, or we ever can get him on. He does that stuff, dude. He does the extract with the butane and stuff.
Yeah, I don't understand it myself. I'm
not that interested in it, man. I just
he'll make wax, oil. Yeah, he does a lot of stuff with his stuff. There he is. He's in chat.
Yeah, Nate knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but the thing that I'm worried about is the younger generation getting a hold of this powerful product
Are you kidding me? The internet has access to all this stuff,
He's
whatever they
afraid of
want to
them
know.
dealing with the powerful product.
Right. But when we were kids, we didn't have any access to this powerful product, and we like learned the tolerances from the shitty fucking weed people were growing around. You
Dude,
know,
man, you can get an Uber to bring you a bag. What the fuck?
well, yeah, but I mean, and you probably get some like weird, crazy fucking high, dude. But back in the day, it's like, hey, let's smoke some weed at a party, and nobody knows what kind of weed it is. It's just weed.
Yeah,
It's just pot.
the first code was like, hey, can you score me a nickel? Can you score me a dime?
And so some kids are like, because I don't know, I tried it when I was a kid, so some kids may get the wrong strain that's the wrong one for them, and they'll be like, I fucking hate pot, because they tried it and like gave them anxiety, because it can give you anxiety if you have sativa.
Yeah, that body high stuff gives me anxiety because I like the head high.
Well, that's a sativa for you then, but the indica is like the body high, relaxes you out. But then, if you spend too much time alone, you start feeling like a loser a little bit. You get too into your head if you're alone, so you got to be with your friends. But it's the same that goes with mushrooms and acid too. You got to be with like good buddies.
What are you laughing and saying at the same time?
Cherry, it said, I bought a quarter pound in the 80s. I suddenly had friends.
Oh, yeah. That's how it goes.
Yep.
Well, see, during the time when I started smoking, I didn't do it all the time. I was just, every once in a while, because quite frankly, I was poor and didn't have no money to buy any of my own. So it was just whenever anybody would offer, then I'd go, yeah, sure. So I didn't have it, necessarily during this time. I'm talking like, high school through my, the beginning of my 20s. So I didn't really smoke it. It was no big deal for me. I never even, had the urge to go do it. But if it was there, I did. And it wasn't until it was basically a girlfriend who was I've noticed whenever you smoke, you're a lot better to deal with. And I was like, really? And I started thinking about it more and more. And then I tried an experiment. I went and bought some and just found out that, yeah, I actually am. Now, granted, if I smoke a lot of it, I get goofy as hell. And quite frankly, you guys would just be laughing at me constantly just because I'd be saying stupid shit, which I'm very capable of. But if I get a buzz going, I can keep myself under, control. And
the soundtrack is perfect. Let's mute up and let Vex full screen yourself, and let's hear it out, dude. I want it. This is good.
What? What do you want me to? I thought I just said it.
Say it again with full screen with the music, dude. It'll be that much more hard hitting.
Hey, Latin Patriot, good to see you.
Oh my God, Latin Patriots in here. Get her out of here.
No, she's telling people
I'm
to put
kidding.
thumbs up.
Yeah, I love Latin Patriot. Latin Patriot's awesome.
But I found out that in the long run, whenever I smoked, I had more control over my logic and less control over my erratic parts of my brain. Or wait a minute, I said that wrong. Essentially, it gave me more control over how I was, because I was acting erratic beforehand. It was like an evening out thing. I know it's been used to death.
It's more like you come up tense. You're tense, right? Like this is the way I've described it. So I come home from work after working with a bunch of men. I'm tense, and it'll just bring you down a notch to where you're not just such a fucking asshole to anybody that asks you a question.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to illustrate it. Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, anybody who's been listening to my channel for a length of time, you guys know I've said it over and over. I was a very angry youth, and anger consumed me, so it was nothing but emotions all the damn time. I had no real governor on my emotions. And it wasn't until I started smoking that I was able to actually build my own governor. And it was kind of weird. Real.
Yeah, my governor was when I went to the Marine Corps. Ever since then, man, it's stuck with me.
But yeah,
You were in the Marines?
Yes, sir.
He was.
Wow. Damn, dude, that's highly commendable. They worked you out. They figured you out a little bit.
It was the opposite, man. They didn't figure me out, work me out. They broke me pretty much. They break everybody. Everybody gets broken and rebuilt.
Well, I just would like to say that, you know, serving the United States of America is highly commendable. So I didn't know that you had done that, man, and you have a lot of respect at this point. I'll leave it at that. Let Vex get back to his
Yeah, I'm just imagining God's Knight blushing.
Oh no, I was just thinking. I mean, I want to say, thank you, but I mean, I really thank people who support, not just active duty, but also non-duty military personnel as well. People who retired or discharged from the military. I mean, even some of those who are dishonorably discharged got a bad thing going, because I've seen it myself, where some of them got tribunaled in a bad way. They were sidelined for certain ways they thought or how they acted, but I knew some people that were really, really shitty members of the the military, and they deserved what they got.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about, in your opinion, GK, the recent? It's not a. I don't want to get anybody in trouble here with terminology here. So there are certain members of our military that are being discharged, and it's not necessarily an honorable discharge.
Yeah,
how do we get around this? How do I turn with the term?
It's going to be either less than honorable. It's going to be in the middle, which is not dishonorable, but not honorable. But they can still do everything that an honorable would. It's just it's just not something that's like, oh my god, you got an honorable discharge, because it looks great.
Can we chalk this up to DNC, the DNC policies?
What, with the mandate of the?
Let's not use any of those terminology. Let's just say the DNC, the Democratic. These are rules.
Yeah, with what's
that
currently
made.
going on with the military, right?
Yeah,
that's happening, dude. I've told Vex about it before too, and Rose and a few other people. There's not going to be no tribunals and blah blah blah. They're just going to say, hey, you want to stay enlisted? You want to stay active duty? Get what we're telling you to get. Do what we're telling you to do. If not, we're going to let you go, and we're going to either dishonorably let you go or somewhere in the middle. There's an ultimatum, and it's already been on the table.
Well, there's guys that are out there that have been in there for 19 and a half years.
Yeah. They're almost career, dude. They can retire.
It's so screwed, man.
Yeah. They can retire, dude. They're close to their 20 years where they can just retire and get that pension for the rest of their lives and their families, or they're going to say, you know what? Let me go. I'll walk.
Well, a lot of them are doing that, and it's really
it's a big
unfortunate.
Number. It's a big number than what they're telling people in the media. It's a larger number right now. The rough split right now. I'm just gonna give a rough percentage. It's a 47-53 split right now. 47% pretty much are like saying no, we're not. It's not no 100,000 to no. It's almost half. It's almost a 50-50 split between those that are getting it or doing what they're told, opposed to the ones that are saying no.
Well, they're refusing an experimental injection.
We're correct.
Normally, the vaccines that you get when you're going into the military they're pretty tried and true. Like, they've tested them. and they're normal vaccines, right? I mean, besides maybe, and what was that one?
Define normal.
Anthrax.
Anthrax, the anthrax one. That one wasn't in 2002 or 2003. They did the anthrax one. That one wasn't very cool. And I
No,
think
that one did a
people,
lot of damage, dude. That caused a lot of syndrome in a lot of servicemen and women.
yeah, people don't talk about that all that much, but
Not
people
supposed to.
the people in
No.
the know, people in the know, they know. So
Yeah, the
I
division right
can't
now
blame.
between in the military, it's a lot more than what they're letting people know. But they have to keep people dumb. You know, they have to keep people quiet. Because if you have more people speaking about the military and more people coming out into the defense of the military and how they're being treated, the government would have to change what they're doing. But to keep it suppressed, only like 3% of the Marine Corps and 5% of the Army and 7% of the Navy and 10% of the Air Force are saying no, it's not. As a whole, it's 47% of our military. At least 47% is like, no, we're not. And a good 20, I guess, maybe around a good 28% have already walked off. So what are they going to do? Conscript freaking people that already had this experimental injection and then just draft them in? We may
Oh
see
man,
that. They'll bring in
dude. So
outsiders.
did
Oh,
you
yeah,
hear
there's-
that? Sorry.
Real quick,
Go ahead,
there's
Vex.
something. Yeah, there's something. Well, right there. I mean, all these people are leaving their posts, so to speak. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just using it as general. But they're leaving, and all these people are coming over the border. Who do you think is going to fill those spots?
Cherry was asking if he can jump on.
Yeah,
Well,
put the link out.
As
Okay.
Vex says, who's going to fill the spots? I believe that a lot of those people are being held on military bases, anyways. So a lot of
Yes.
them are being told, like, if you want to gain citizenship, you have to do some military service, which is not unheard of. It's a pretty
Correct.
normal thing. Pretty normal thing.
Yeah, it is.
And so, that's who's gonna fill those places.
Good night, Panther. Sweet dreams.
Yeah, later, Panther. Even though I didn't get a hi from her. It was cool, though.
Dang it, Panther.
I'm going to run to the fridge real quick and grab myself another drink.
Yeah,
Be
the
right
way
back.
it's going, man, they're gonna if they
I'm
get
gonna say a
desperate.
bunch of racial slurs on your channel, so it
If
gets
they get
canceled.
desperate, like I said, they're gonna draft.
Great.
I mean,
Well,
they can
did you
draft
hear-
any way they want, even if it's
GK,
legal or not.
dude,
but-
GK, did you hear that they just passed that law though? That now females are they're up for the draft now. Did you know that?
Yeah, dude, that's like about a couple months ago.
Yeah, dude.
It's been
Like,
going on for a while now. They're
I
trying
don't.
to.
I don't agree with that at all. Do you?
Well, we're not in wartime. We're only in maritime. We're not in wartime. I mean, even
Right.
during wartime, it's still illegal. But
I don't think we should ever draft our
circumvented it.
women.
they circumvented it for the men by saying, well, if you have two males, one can go. But if you have one male child, he can't go. That's how they
Yeah.
circumvented that. But it was still illegal as hell to draft.
But now they just passed a new law that now women are up for the draft.
Right.
So what is that going to look like? I mean, I'm not a father. I don't have any
All right, later,
daughters.
Okidin.
But if I did have a daughter, man,
What's up,
I
Jerry?
don't think I would let her get drafted, man.
Chariot Rain, welcome.
Thank you. Can I come? Am I audible properly?
Yep,
Yes,
we
sir.
can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I needed a new icon, so I chose Arthur Ashe. He went to the hospital and he came out dead. They injected him with AIDS.
Yeah, well, dying in the hospital isn't unheard of anymore. It's
I
kind of the
know.
norm.
God's night. I just want to say, also, just like Survival and the others, of course, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you. Like I said, for people, I'm more thankful for the people who support the servicemen and women, retired or non-active duty now. And I mean, they need it, especially right now. I'm still alive. I'm fine. I'm good. My mental health is pretty squared away.
Sweet.
I appreciate it. But the the servicemen and women that served or still serving, they need it right now, especially right now, man. So if you know any or any people that have family members or friends or anything like that, reach out to them, ask for them, ask to write them or whatever, because the
They need
military is going through the ringer right now, hardcore.
All right,
And
we got them.
they need it. They need it right now.
Yeah.
They're trying to speak up and do the right thing by walking away, because a lot of them are upholding their oaths. Now
Right.
we're seeing that. Before it was just I'm taking orders. I'm just following orders. Not anymore.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
saw that that one Marine. He ended up in the brig for a week.
Yeah, it was a colonel. It was a lieutenant colonel. A lieutenant colonel, man. A lieutenant colonel.
Put him in the brig, man, for a week. Or
Illegally
maybe,
too.
yeah. Well, he's out now, and
Yep.
he's going to start a landslide, and that's not that good for our country necessarily.
No.
But at the same time, it's going to be a wake up call for our government. It's going to say, "Oh shit, we got a fucking
What has to, man? There was such a big
military."
uproar for that lieutenant colonel. They had no choice but to let him go. He had Marines and civilians in an uproar.
Guys, I got to be honest. I don't even know about this. I'm in my own shamanic world all the time, but I do care, and it's just the same old story to me.
Oh, it's okay. It's good, man. You're good.
That's fine, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it hurts, to listen to it, but I'm listening.
Well, as
Well, I
long
mean-
what does your world look like? Oh, let's let Vex. Yes, this is Vex's
No,
channel.
I was-
I'm gonna
go
mute.
ahead and respond to him. Basically, Survival was asking you about where you're at and what you're up to, Tom.
Okay. Okay, so in this very moment, we are all beings. We are intentions, hearts, souls, but we are being as we are becoming. As each moment in the river of life flows, we are here experiencing it, different from those that went before us or those who will come after. And like Vex was saying, our duty in my heart is to stand our post.
Excellent. Well, mental effects on all people. I mean, especially we all know how much the propaganda has been messing with everybody, and they've done one hell of a job on it.
Yes.
And that includes the military people also. It's like I was saying when you guys were commenting about Paul Harvey. That guy said it out loud, and he said it well.
You mean a long
So,
time ago, the Paul Harvey speech?
Yes,
That was
if
me.
I were the devil.
Oh, yeah.
That
Oh,
was
my
me.
goodness gracious.
Give me some
Yeah.
credit.
You?
Yeah.
I'm 22 years younger than you. I got the Paul Harvey in there, bro.
But it's been working on us for a long time, and
Right.
all those people who are not equipped to maybe with the knowledge of the propaganda, they're just
Right.
going about their lives. I mean,
Yes.
this is inclusive for the military members also. I'm sure people joining up with the military weren't really thinking about propaganda and stuff like that when they went in, unless it was the propaganda that was put forth, fight for your country, that type of propaganda. But essentially, they were just living their lives, doing their thing, and thought it'd be great to become part of the military. And so they went in to do their duty. And during that time, they are subjected to even, we'll just say different forms of propaganda, because we're all immersed in all of it. And it is
Correct.
affecting us even right now. The fact that we're talking about some of these subjects, we're playing right into the propaganda itself, and we're perpetuating it.
Oh.
Now,
Let me break in just for a second,
All
because
right.
you're touching such a strong heart string of mine. Vex, think what our country and other countries could be doing to move forward if we weren't endlessly bogged down by all of this.
oh yeah. I mean, this is a conversation I've had with a few different people. Right now, I mean, just through the research that I've been able to do, I've come across that every major disaster that has happened upon society,
Mhm.
we'll just say humanity, has been made as in
Orchestrated.
orchestrated it against us, planned out, at least in the basic form.
Yeah, you and I have had
If-
this conversation in
That's
depth,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, all this is being done because there has always been a good side and a bad side,
Right.
but not everybody was privy to the sides. Nowadays, everybody knows what sides there are
Well,
because they
we do
constructed it
Vex.
so. Yeah.
We do Vex. But like you're saying, so many people, they're just living their lives and they have no idea.
Right. Hey, Callie, good to see you.
If we
But,
all could be
yeah.
like, the soldiers in red versus blue, everything would be great.
Oh God, I love that show.
I don't know it. Is it a TV show or something?
It's Machinima, and it's used. They use the Halo basically game to do
Tell
stunts
stories?
and tell a story.
Oh.
It's real funny.
It's like one of those a day in the life of a kind of scenario kind of thing.
Okay.
Mhm.
But it's a series. It's pretty good.
As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and drop the link for it so you can check it out
All
because
right.
I love this shit. I really
right.
do.
All right. I'll click on it.
Have you guys
It's-
been hearing all the hype about the Squid Games?
Yeah, that makes me want to figuratively take a freedom stick and just give myself a few freedom seeds.
I watched the whole thing for you guys. If you haven't seen it,
Well, give us a small breakdown on it.
it's a Korean show that has a voiceover. It's a mind fuck at the end. without a spoiler alert. There's no spoiler. It's a mind fuck at the end. But the one thing that stood out to me during the whole series is that the evil people were all white, and everybody else was Korean.
They were the
There was one
billionaires, dude.
Indian. There's
The,
one
the elites.
East Indian. There's one East Indian guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that
He
speak
was,
Korean.
He was a good guy. He was a good guy. No, it's all voiceover, so it's all in English, so it's not hard to watch. But you remember like the old voiceovers in the old Asian movies where like
Yeah.
they would be doing a lot of mouth movements.
Yeah.
And then he'd just say, "I'm going to hit you with a sword," but there's a lot of mouth movements or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
So it's a little bit like that at certain times, but they do a pretty good job. It's pretty good, but the evil guys are the white guys, and the rest of the people are Korean people and one Indian dude, like East Indian guy. So it's like it's a Netflix special. They were the one. Netflix was the ones that were doing the cuties,
They were the
Yeah.
ones that paying the Obamas like $50 million for something.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So it's to be expected.
I'm getting
Yeah.
upset. I got to be honest.
I'm right with you, man. We're all at our limit. I
I
get
know.
it.
Well, for how
No.
many years too? It's like patience and charity are a virtue, but excuse me, we're not doormats. We're the guardians.
Well, think about how Rome fell. It wasn't
not-
all at once.
True, and yet Rome lives, doesn't it? Look at our standard, the eagle.
Hmm. Well, a broken Rome stands.
A new Rome arises
Yeah.
with
well,
with honorable senators that keep their
Yeah,
ears
it's
to the
2.0,
ground.
man. The 2.0 of the Roman
That's
Empire.
all
That-
this
That's
is
at the
being
precipice of collapsing again.
yeah. All this is being done to make us even worse off and to treat
True, very
everybody
good.
else around us worse off.
Oh, yeah?
We're not supposed to be thanking God's night for his service. We're not supposed to be allowing Survival to speak his mind or Tom to speak his mind. We're supposed to put a clamp down on it and
Yeah, we're supposed to be at
only
it. You know
follow
what,
the
gentlemen?
narrative.
Yeah, you're right. We're all supposed to be at odds with each other right now. Like say, oh
Yes.
well, Vex, you're wrong. Chariot makes sense, so I'm gonna side with Chariot because
Right.
you're wrong. Shit like that, dude. We're supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Well, we're
By their
not,
turn.
but they say, yeah,
Right.
exactly. So we are the Jedi of the Old Republic that stay true no matter what happens. The Titanic goes down. We sing Old Lang Syne as we enter the icy waters if necessary. But I stay. There is still time.
Yeah. Well,
We're
I've
just
drawn
doing
a-
shanty. We're doing chants and shit as it goes down. No,
Yep.
you guys, it's the individual, man.
We're thought
America was
criminals,
kind
man.
of based. America's been based, you guys. It's the based individual. We're supposed to be able to say what we want. We're
Yeah.
supposed to be able to gain a livelihood through our skills that we
Yes.
develop,
Oh,
You know,
beautiful.
whether it be with your hands or your mind. You're supposed to be able to do that out here.
That's right.
And people do it. They still do it. People strive. People dream to live in America. And
Dinesh
they,
D'Souza.
yeah, they make their way
Whatever
over.
country has this dream.
Look at that guy, man. He's great, man.
And he went to prison for us too. You know.
there are
He's still
many
fighting.
countries like it, or tried to be like us, but none
Survive-
of them has matched us.
That's true. Survival. Can you do me a favor? Can you explain that base to me a little bit? Because the way you were saying it, it seems so natural to you, and I know of it, but I'm not sure what you were saying. Like, how would you explain that to someone who didn't know based before?
Oh, as far as base, it's like Bill of Rights.
Okay.
If you want to know your Bill of Rights and your Constitution and the country that you're living in, you should learn the laws that you're living in. If you want to be based in law, you have to know your Bill of Rights. You have to know the Constitution that you're living in.
And is that how you use based at an upper level, or is that what most people consider to be the term of the definition of based?
Oh, I mean, people throw it around, man. Like,
Right.
You've seen it.
I've
You've
seen it. Yeah. But you seem to have a good feel for it. So thank you.
Well, it's
Nice-
just
Nice to meet you. Also.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, man. I mean, I'd just like to think you could even be somebody that maybe even slightly left-leaning and still be based if you're
Okay.
a
Sure.
man of a Bill of Rights and the
Right.
Constitution of the United States. I'm not
Right.
I'm not out here shitting on everybody, you know. I'm a man of the people and
Yeah.
you know, I just like everybody, you guys. I want everybody to get along, and I want everybody to come to an understanding at some point. Like,
We will.
we can't be out here just hurting
We-
people. You know?
We need a tuning fork. Do you understand? Worldwide.
Yeah, you get a little tune for it going.
Yeah. We
that-
need.
Yeah, that fits perfectly into frequency, doesn't it?
Yes. And we know what the
Harmonize.
Nazis did. I'm sorry, God's name.
Harmonize.
Say that one more time.
Harmonize.
Yes.
Harmonize.
Well, Jericho. How did it fall?
Sure.
It was the frequency.
Right.
It brought it down. But that doesn't mean it's just a technical thing without a divine will or heart or love behind it. I'm sorry. You know, we can never, you know, the old saying, we've all heard this growing up. Who would have been big on this, like Ray Bradbury, perhaps? We cannot allow our technology to outstrip our morality.
And what has happened? Just that. It has.
We're all on our cell phones right now. Some of you guys are on computers, but
I'm on a PC. I
okay, so it's not much different.
have a $20 cell phone, so that won't work.
Yeah, I'm doing this.
$20
telepathic.
cell phone, dude. I would like to see that shit.
It flips up like in the 80s or the early 90s.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
I remember I bought a $700 Nokia once. Forgive me. It was the only thing I did like that in life.
Holy shit.
But it was the James Bond movie had just come out. And I'm in Holland and they had the goddamn phone.
Dude, I remember when people went crazy for that phone in the first Matrix movie.
Yeah.
Oh, this was
People
like
went crazy for
2001.
that, dude. And I knew people
That's about
who
the
bought
same
that phone
time.
just because of that.
Right, that's about the same time. I know. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I have an old flip phone. That's what I use until basically, well, at the end of October, it's going to end my service because, well, essentially they don't support this phone anymore, so I won't have a
Right.
phone.
Do you guys believe in telepathy? Like, have you ever experienced it or do you
Yes.
practiced it? Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. You know, I wanted to be
experience with that shit.
okay. I wanted to be a football coach, and I wanted to teach my guys telepathy.
Hmm.
Do you understand? We never would have lost ever.
That's true.
We huddle. Why huddle? Trust me. Get ready.
Yeah, everybody's just already ready to go.
We'd be the quietest team ever. I'm sorry.
Those are it's fun to
Crazy
think about.
thoughts. Yeah,
Fun
definitely.
to think about, man. Telepathy, man. It'd be fun to think about. You just tell your friends what you're thinking and shit, or tell the runner to hit the right, hit the corner,
exactly. Yep.
get in there,
Yep.
get in that. Yeah, it's not reality. It's not reality, though.
I'll tell you a story though. My friends, when I was young, I would think of them and they would call me. And I remember one time I tested it. Have you had that experience, Vex, or do you remember?
Yes.
Okay. So this is maybe like 1980. I'm maybe 10 years old. I was born in 69, right after they shot the moon. Well, at least in Hollywood, you know. Because
Right.
I'm sorry, thrusters are going to make the dust move. They are. But whatever. It was a very clean shot and looked convincing on television. Don't get me. But here's the situation. Wait. So I asked one time. This would always happen. Survival, God's Night, Vex, and listeners. So one time I finally said to my friend Tommy, we're both named Tom, and I'm like, okay, why did you call me? He's like, well, because you called me. You know, and I'm like, all right, I just wanted to make sure that you knew what was going on, and you know, and that's a marker, like in the Akashic records, they can look that up, and they'll see that I understood what was going on. We were telepathic. All I had to do was think of this friend, that friend, and the other friend, and they would call me. Why? They were my friends. We were in the material realm, but we have connections beyond where we began, where we end. But this has been hell and not the way it's supposed to be, guys. That is the truth.
Yeah, well, a lot of this has been done to keep us away from that type of thing right there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What we can be as souls. You know, I love this song, but I don't. We have to change it. We honor the past. It's this guy, he says, like, I'm only human. Big chubby guy, but nice voice. You know who I mean? He's got like 1 billion views. It's this song, I'm only human. Right, but here's the thing. No, wrong. Yes, I understand the pain of being human, but at the same time, we must not adopt that. We must not limit ourselves. We must not say, I am just. We are souls in the material realm becoming. We decide what is America, what is human, what we can be. We were told by religion after religion, you are the sons and daughters of God. We should become it, but they are keeping it from us, like you say, Vex, along with every cure, every advancement. We had cars that could go 1,000 miles a gallon in 1965. That's a fact.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has the capability to do all these things we consider superpowers.
Agreed.
For real. All of us have that capability. They
It
knew
has to be
this.
developed, though, right? With
Well,
love.
they also knew this about
Yes.
the human species themselves and actively went about to block it
Treason
and to
against
take
God's
it away
kingdom.
from the
Yes.
culture at hand.
It is our
Because
inheritance.
the old ways were of, the hillbillies and stuff like that. People who don't have any education, so they were all
Backwards.
played down backwards.
Right.
Exactly. And so everything was about going to college and getting yourself an education. Now
Right.
look what it's done.
But
Well,
Vex,
I want to have something to speak to that too, you guys. So, in our day and age now, the youth is highly encouraged to go to get higher education. Like you said, higher education has changed so much in the last millennia that higher education anymore is only indoctrination into a Marxist thing.
Right.
But so one of the things that I didn't. So you guys, I didn't go to college.
Me neither. I mean, I help a
But-
little, but no.
Yeah, I have a little too. Just business.
What-
under my belt.
My grandfather, he had a southern drawl and everything, but I don't have that. And he told me, he said, get back to the land,
Yes.
and that's where you're gonna find yourself, and that's where you're gonna find work the land and get back to surviving on the land. That's where you're gonna find survival. And so
That's your name, and that's where your name comes from?
no, that's not. But
That's a great story, though.
But my name actually comes from. It's similar though. It comes from like a punk rock song. Because I wasn't always like a fucking old guy, dude. I used to have. I used to have. There
You
was
used to
this
like
punk,
Johnny Rotten and down.
Yeah, dude. No, there was this punk rock song, and like the whole like the hook of it was survival never goes out of style,
Nice.
which is like the opposite of like, dying is not very fucking stylish. So, survival never goes out of style is where I got it. And I used to have that name, but it was
Oh,
just
really?
too long. It was too
Yeah.
long for everybody to type out. So
But thanks for telling us. That's really awesome.
Yeah, anyway, guys, get back to the whatever you guys were.
No, no, listen, survival. I have a severe spiritual bent, and in no way do I wish to impinge upon your reality. As maybe Vex and I talk about these things. I just want you to know that we just sit around a council fire together, as patriots, as brothers, as souls.
Yeah.
And all right,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, guys. Well, I'm chilling, you guys.
Cool.
Yeah.
But I think you got a pretty cool voice, even if you don't have the southern drawl. I hear something of like a depth of an ocean there.
Yeah, man. I'm just let's go around the horn a little bit. I've been drinking a little bit, guys.
Oh yeah, dude. I went around the horn last night. Literally. No, I
Well,
went
let's
around.
drop it down to GK a little bit. Look, I took my turn, guys. I did my talking.
No,
I'm all smiles. I'm all
All right.
smiles.
Good. Because like Alan Alda on MASH back in the day, if you watch that like in the late 70s, early 80s, you remember he would say sometimes they'd get on him. They'd say, "Why are you always cracking jokes?" Maybe Loretta, Because if I don't, I won't survive.
Yeah.
So it's good to be smiles. We can be all smiles even now, right?
No. Can't take a
Dude.
joke.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to live a shitty life, so I'm
I
just
know, right?
trying to smile when I can. You know,
I know.
It's like who
You know,
wants to live a shitty life? I'm not in a bad mood.
Sweet. Well, I know we
Yeah?
got 3 very quality people here in the 3 of you, and I thank
Hell
you for
yeah.
allowing me to sit here with you tonight.
Yeah, it's always
No
it's always
worries.
good to have you, Cherry.
I'm sensing a lot of positive energy going
been a
on,
long
and
time.
that's what's good. The positive energy, and it's good. Yes, let's go. Let's get it. GK, what's up, man?
Is GK God's Night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
So
Yeah,
it's
like
Vex,
I'm
going
saying,
night.
Cherry, it's been a while, dude. It's been a while since we've actually been
I can tell you the last time exactly.
conversing.
God's Night and Vex were both there.
Mhm.
Vex, when's your birthday? Do you
May.
mind saying? Okay, it was your birthday. So it was May.
Yeah.
That's
mine,
right, that's-
I'm on the 3rd.
Okay, yeah, the last time I was on was then May 3rd. Happy
Yeah, the
birthday again,
birthday.
Vex.
Yeah, the birthday show.
I remember it well. I was there. It was interesting.
Yeah. It was a fun time.
I remember Vex saying, "This is what I want," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Vex, I can't, Vex." But I didn't forget you. I often have prayed for you guys, God's Night and Vex. I want you to know that just in my life, I remembered you.
I send my prayers out to everybody I can.
Mine's for everybody too, man. I mean, that's just I like to just get everything covered in one big, fell swoop.
Sure.
I mean, there's some that I target individually, because I believe they need it more than I do. So
Yeah.
Right,
they get
yeah.
a little more attention.
You just
Yeah.
But everybody's
gotta
pretty much equal, though.
pushing that positive vibe out into the just pushing it out in the realm. It's
Right,
the positive vibes, man.
And we can do that with our inner being, our spiritual soul, our self. We can
Yeah.
make a decision to literally push it out. I don't know how many listeners or people out there who are not perhaps on the channel right now, but are listening despite that. For those who are not fully in the material realm or have access to this broadcast will understand. We can use our inner beings and strength to literally push out the positive vibes, but it takes
Positive
an effort.
vibes.
It takes an
Not
effort.
only that, but you can get worn out too.
Exactly,
So
and that's
you
the thing.
you can't push all of it out. If you know what I mean, like I
Yes,
think that
I
you and
do.
I,
That's
I
where I
think
was
you and
going.
know.
Go ahead.
No, I think you and I are on the exact same page where
Right.
you can push it out. You push your positivity out as much as you possibly can. In there becomes a limit though, because
Yes.
you end up having to take care of yourself at a certain point.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
Too.
definitely.
hmm
And then you keep if you're good at it, if you're good, you can keep going, you know.
Yes.
But some of us aren't, you know. Some people don't know how to do that. Some people do. But
and there's
yeah.
there's always a danger of becoming codependent, so to speak, of pushing too far for one that's simply draining it from you and will not benefit. When the goal is to
Right.
emanate, you know, a rising tide that lifts all ships, not to lose our eternal substance that we sacrifice for the other survival.
That's true.
can-
Yeah.
You can only put forth the good vibes that you have to give.
Yeah. Yep.
Now,
But you don't
now
want to deplete. You don't want to deplete yourself, though.
Well, I
It's-
say that because each person has their own level.
Right.
And right now, a lot of negativity keeps that level low. So
Correct.
when you give out your good energy, it drains you faster. Why
And
I
yet
say
we have
that,
an obligation.
real quick, why I say that is the more you can take care of yourself, the more that you can embody yourself, know yourself, the more energy you will have for others.
Yes.
And real quick, we're talking about my birthday last May. I
Yes.
did a live stream and for my
Privileged to be
birthday.
there.
Yeah. So no worries, you're fine. I didn't know her
Yeah,
back
it's just
then. I don't think.
you're trying your hardest every day to emulsify water and oil, and it's just never going to emulsify.
Redefine emulsify for me in your terms.
Just pretty much getting them to combine together, stay together, stick
Okay.
together,
Okay.
bond for them to bond.
Vex, I missed your point about your birthday. I'm fine. In case I caused trouble, I didn't mean to. It did seem like I did. I felt horrible. I haven't been back.
No, it's not that. It's just that you have a very flowing way of speaking that monopolized. So yeah, that was the only thing. I had other people that wanted to talk at the same time, and
Okay.
you were telling us a lot of stuff.
In
and
other words,
continuing.
in other words, Chariot, you're just like me. You and I have a way of taking over other people's live streams, and we gotta hand it back to Vex, man. You gotta let him talk.
Yo, I'm 1000% for Vex and God's Night and the soul and the spirit that we try to bring to the hour. All I can tell you is Vex has always allowed me to speak. And at the same time, Vex, do you remember that night? They kept asking me questions, Vex. I didn't want to
Mhm.
monopolize at all. And you and others were even saying, "Go ahead, answer." I just want you to know. I mean, what am I supposed to do?
Oh no, and I'm not saying it was all bad. Quite frankly, I had a good time that night just because I was sitting back and letting people talk back and forth. I interjected when I needed to, but for the most part, I was there just to hang out with some buddies and talk about some stuff. So I was all good with it.
Yeah, except when Vex had to say, "Let's try to keep it civil."
Yeah.
I'm like, but Vex, do you understand? I just wanted to honor your birthday. I just showed up. All right.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
good. I'm good, dude.
I know, but I care about you, Vex. That's why I speak like this now.
Now we need to take all that caring and put it to the people who need it.
I
Because
know.
the more we fill ourselves up, the more we need to share it. And the only way you can do that is to look within yourselves and figure out who you are. I know that's a big, big thing to figure out, but everybody has to figure out who you are. It wasn't until I figured out who I am that I could take control over who I was and who I wanted to be. If you don't start from that base, your base will crumble.
It's a real skill, Vex. It really is a real skill. Because you have to have a base for yourself to know where your bottom line is going to be. And you have to know, like, you give smiles out and you give hugs out and you give handshakes out, and even online you give people the benefit of the doubt, and
right.
and you do all this. You push your love out, like even to your wife or your girlfriend. You do these things, and you have to know your limit. Is all I'm saying. As a man in the realm we're living in, you got to know your limit. Otherwise, you're going to drive yourself crazy, and that's why you see these guys that act bad.
And those are the ones.
They didn't know their limit.
Yeah, and those are the ones that have the low limit, and they don't know how to increase it. Well, the increasing takes looking inward, figuring out who you are. You cannot be strong if you don't start from the base. I mean, if I stand on shifting sands, it's going to be harder for me to stay steady. But if I'm on a concrete base, I will be steady.
30
and that's
years.
what it is. Go
30
ahead.
years. Yeah, definitely. 30 years ago, playing into what Vex is saying, if I may.
Mhm.
I went to a not a commune. It was called Pendle Hill. It's kind of like a mecca for Quakers, and it's like a spiritual center where you live in community for maybe a term or a year. I was maybe 21 or 22, and I needed that base, and I kept telling my friends, Vex. Now this is like maybe 1991, right? 92. I am determined to make the foundation solid. That's what matters most to me. They're all in college at this point. But I'm like, no, I'm going a different way. The foundation must be perfection. The base.
Yeah. I mean, you
How-
can't have a solid house without it. And that's what you are. You are the house. Now, your morals, what you go by, your spirit, that's your base. Now, if you're not strong in that area, you will crumble. And you won't be able to handle what comes at you. That's where all these imbalances come from. Now, that added on to what we'll just say people, in air quotes, have done to, foul our air, foul our food, foul our water, know this already. They've figured it out. And they're using it against us.
Correct.
So we have to fight against it. You have to clean yourself up. If you are not able to think clearly enough because you're groggy all the time or something like that, change something in your diet to get rid of that grogginess. Do some cleanses of nutrients and vitamins and minerals and all that stuff and clean yourself up. You'll notice a difference, and then you will be able to build from there because you will be able to hear yourself and what your body wants. Your gut will lie to you. It only takes you to ignore it for it to become a lie.
Yeah, pay more attention to your gut, people, than your brain,
Yep.
Absolutely. Ever since I've been paying more attention to my gut, I've had much more things go right. Not necessarily monetary or anything like that, but in my life,
Right.
I feel more whole.
Yeah.
Well, you'll end up when you feel more whole, you'll end up emitting positivity.
Yes.
People will gravitate to you, and people might need you. People will see that you're emitting positivity, right?
Yes.
You
Well, they-
guys have seen this before. You guys have seen this. Like when you're doing really well in life, and you're feeling good about yourself, you're just emitting this positivity, radiating it. People in need, some of them may need you, and you have to pick and choose who is going to take advantage of you and who actually
Right.
needs you.
Right.
Right.
That's what I was going to interject with. Radiating all that positivity it's a double-edged sword, man. You're going to attract many kinds of people, and like you got to discern who's there to get something from you and they can go with it and build with it, or they're going to take advantage of you and try to destroy you.
Yeah. I've turned them as vampires. There are others out there that will suck you dry of your energy.
Yeah.
They're just, and it's they may not even know they're doing it.
That's such a good point.
There for a while in my life, I thought I was one, and I think I was, just because I was so negative. I was like a walking black hole, and I recognized it, and
That's crazy. Hard to imagine, but I hear you.
well, I mean, I would tire people out, and I wouldn't even be, like gabbing your brains out or anything like that. I'd be just,
You were Vortex.
yeah. I mean, if it just seemed like it was just a whirlwind of negativity, and nobody wanted to be around it because it was taxing. And I understand that now that I've tried to put myself on the other side.
You
I
have done it.
recognize it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the real deal is where my username comes from. It's that survival never goes out of style. Dying is not an option. Dying is not an option.
But let me interject this at the same time. It is the principle, I believe, deepest down, those here to listen to these words, seen and unseen, that must live. So, in other words, the glorious story of the woman in India, hundreds of years ago, walking in the mountains. And she heard the little lion cubs. They were crying. They were on a cliff down below, a little plateau. And down below them, their mother who had fallen and died. They'd have no food, so instantly she threw herself to her death, and she would be their food that they might live. The principle is what must survive, I say. Not us. The flame of holiness must carry on from century to century.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, with that said, I mean, I think I've said everything that I need to say tonight. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna dip out and let you guys continue on.
Great to know you. Great to meet you. Take care wherever you are in the world. Survival never goes out of style.
That's right, dude.
Yeah,
Don't go out of style, boys. You guys
All right.
survive, man.
Rock on.
All
Thanks
right,
for
guys,
hanging out
we'll
with us,
We'll
man.
see you next time. Yes, sir, Vex. We'll see you next time.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
But putting out all these good vibes is going to do nothing but be contagious. We have to
Correct.
make it contagious. And
Correct.
it's, like I said, it starts from the base. And that comes from you and knowing yourself. If you can calm yourself to the point where you can meditate, you can do anything. Anything.
I'm surrounded by evil, though. I really am, Vex. It's bad.
Well, a lot of us are. But this is something that pales in comparison. Or actually the opposite of that. Evil pales in comparison to what
You're
we
right.
can do as an individual.
You're right. You're right.
There is nothing that can touch you if you don't let it.
I
The
know, but
problem is
do
most people let it.
yeah, I know, but Vex, also we have to protect, and I can't protect others and myself.
Well, you can. That's the whole deal. That's the positive vibes. Putting it simply, create we'll just call it your aura,
Yeah,
and
sure.
it is your protection, or it is your gateway to you. It's only how you allow it.
I don't know, man. I mean, please keep talking because I need this very badly, and we're talking about very precious things to my heart. But I've walked this walk for decades, and it has been difficult, the decisions to make at each moment.
Well, it speaks to your base, what we were just talking about. If you are solid in your foundation, nothing can touch you.
It did.
The winds may blow, the rain may come, but
Okay.
your house will stand.
Okay,
It'll
okay,
stand strong.
but me upon the lotus flower in my heart, they could not touch. But the body, they did what they wanted to. I could not stop it.
But your body is only the physical manifestation. It's your spirit that's your base.
But it is the body that is the temple that I have been made steward of. It is the instrument and the vessel upon which the holy wind must blow, and it is crippled.
If you want to go into depth like that, it's only for a season, dude, or seasons. It just depends. I mean, if you're gonna go with that, if you're gonna roll it that way, I mean, maybe
That is helpful. That is helpful. Continue.
those are the
please.
seasons you're just going through, man. There's no time limit of our seasons that we go through. We can go through seasons of a drought or famine for how long, dude? We don't know until
Okay.
we get through it, man.
All right. But
Change
thanks
is
for
the
allowing
only
me.
constant.
Thank you
Right.
for allowing me to speak of these things.
Yeah, change is something that comes to all of us.
Yep.
And it's all in how we approach it or let it approach us. Do you wait for it or do you head into it headlong? I prefer to head into it headlong because it's coming anyway.
Right.
Fear breeds the hesitation.
Yep.
If you are strong, you can go through it.
Dude, you're still here. You're still here, Chariot. So you're doing something right.
Knowing yourself and your capabilities, you are more I hate using the word educated for this, but you are more educated on how to defend or help.
I was in many circumstances throughout my. All right, so Vex, you and God's Night, you've probably heard this. When I was born, I was fully conscious. I turned the other cheek the moment of my birth, for it was the physician that had been screwing me over in eternity, and I wasn't expected to see him at my birth. I was in the incubators. It was October 13th, 14th, 1969, and I was praying and taking care of the other babies. I've been at this a long time, but there have been many circumstances and situations where we talk about what we talk about now, obviously where it is of the utmost importance what to do, what decision to make, how to stand our post and walk rightly forward at the same time. And I don't know. I mean, I hear the words you speak, but they're like drops of rain on a parched soul.
And see what Callie just wrote in there. That's actually real good. Never let anybody or anything dull your shine. That's the epitome of what I'm saying.
Yeah, that
It's-
sounds like
it's-
something from The Shining.
Yeah.
Well said, Callie. Callie Unknown, well said.
It's the epitome of what I'm trying to get across is nobody can dull your shine if you don't let them.
Only you
Yeah.
can, dude. Only you can. Only you can hinder yourself. Like me, for example, I can be the worst person to you. And if you have that mindset to like, I really don't care what you have to say, okay, I'll take it into consideration, but in the long run, it's not going to affect me.
That's
See,
all it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't what I say shouldn't matter to you in a negative aspect. Now, since you're singing, since we're all being positive and everything and sharing that same energy, now you're more like, you know what? I need that. Thanks. I appreciate that. Now that right there is going to help you be brighter or work on yourself more. Say, hey, you know what? That does make sense. It's a good thing I'm here because that's what I needed to hear. Because I heard from me being here, I heard some good stuff that I needed to hear tonight.
Oh, good.
That's what it's all about. And I'm not here as an entertainer. I'm not an entertainer.
Me-
If
me
I was trying
neither.
to entertain, then I'd be playing my guitar and, making everybody run away with my singing. Or telling bad dad jokes or something.
Unless it was Bob Dylan, man.
Everybody must get stoned.
Keep going. I'll listen to that.
Like, keep going, man.
I don't want to monopolize the time.
All right, now Vex, let me ask you honestly, because that was a hard night for me. I just want your May 3rd birthday. I just wanted to come by. I thought I was blessed. I hadn't seen you for a while, and I saw this little thumbnail, and it was like Vex's birthday or something. Oh, I got to go in there. But Vex, do you remember how they attacked me?
Well, yeah, I was there.
Remember when I'm not going to mention any names. Remember when he had to go to the bathroom? I'm like, is he gone? Is he at the bathroom? Because now I can speak and he can't answer because he's on the toilet. Because Vex, I'm just saying, like, why is everybody always like that? This is a very general question to everybody, but you know what I mean? Like, they're like, no, they wanted to know who I am. They're like, who are you? What are you about? I'm just a guy here that wants to wish Vex happy birthday. What's the issue?
Yeah, see, I've had problems with that individual in the past, and without going too crazy with
I
it.
thought he was a nice guy, but at the
He
same
can
time,
be. He can
Okay.
be. He can be. It's just that we'll just put it this way. My style of talking with people is the opposite of his style.
Okay, but he's a big fan of yours, and he was a nice guy, but he's crazy, So that's why I haven't been back. But I'm
I
here,
have an
brother.
answer for that.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Sats.
Slack.
Is that like
Flats.
buckwheat? Is that like
It's just-
Is that like
it's-
buckwheats? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's just like an inside joke.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Don't tell me. That's great. I
Yeah.
love it.
cool.
Slats.
Yeah.
All right.
Slats.
All right. Listen, you guys know not to trust Dr. Dave Janda, right? Don't trust him for shit.
I don't even know him.
Okay, good. He broadcasts out of Radio Free Michigan. He'll have like Bill Benny on, who was like head of like intelligence or CIA or something. Bill might be all right. Vex, you know him?
Yeah,
All right.
I'm
Don't
familiar
trust.
with him.
Don't trust him. I'm sorry, it hurts, but don't trust him. He's playing
I
both
don't
sides.
trust anybody.
Okay. Good.
It's like
No,
my
no, no.
screensaver.
They had a soldier, a supposed
It's
soldier
in
on.
cursive.
Yep.
They had like a Marine on or something, but he wasn't. I promise you. This guy, he broke character in the middle of the goddamn broadcast. You know, it's like, how do you, God damn it. Then they try to cover it up with their faces or gender.
Of course.
Anyway, I know.
Yeah.
Stop it. You know, there are actually people suffering and they're playing a game. They call it like their school play. We are less than chattel to them, and they forget we are the ones that are the base of them.
Real quick. Hey, survival. Yeah, you think I did decent with Bob Dylan?
Fuck it, you nailed it.
Yeah, he
I'm
does,
a-
dude. I encourage
Well,
Fix with this Bob Dylan. That's
I
why I
was
say it's
trying to- I was trying to do a Alex Jones impersonation, and everybody decided it sounded more like Beetlejuice than Alex Jones. So
Can I hear
Yeah.
it?
I don't have anything prepared.
Okay, that's all right.
I have to
I'll
actually
do
think
something.
about it.
documents. I got
No.
the documents right here.
I could
No,
I could pull out Bob Dylan because I've been doing him just off the cuff for years. But
Oh, cool.
The
Can I tell you a cool Bob Dylan story out of New Jersey?
quick, yeah.
Do you know it?
Oh, I don't know. What is it?
Well, I mean, have you heard a Bob Dylan story out of New Jersey?
Not to my
All right.
knowledge.
Okay, cool. So here it comes. All right, so this is not that long ago, like 20 years ago, but you remember how far Bob Dylan goes back. So that's recently, right?
Mhm.
Maybe in 20, maybe 10, 15 years ago now. Because I
Mhm.
moved to Hawaii like 7 years ago, and this is at least a few years before that. So he's just in New Jersey, right, where my parents are from. And maybe near Asbury Park with Bruce Springsteen, you know what I'm saying? And he's just going to play like a festival, you know, because like Johnny Cash, you know, one day there's big stadiums and then you're just playing state fairs, you know, but I got a story there too. But here's the situation. He's got like an hour before the show. It's, you know, it's almost like a country fair, you know, but it's on the coast. And so he's walking around town, but people are like, call the police. They're like, there's a strange vagabond walking around town. And the police come and they pick him up. They arrest him. He's like, I'm Bob Dylan. They're like, who the hell is Bob Dylan? And he's like, listen, I just got a show. They're like, no, you're a homeless person, aren't you? You don't belong here. We've gotten reports of your troublemaking. He's like, please, I gotta be at the concert. They're like, no, I'm sorry. And they arrest him. They take him into the police station. Nobody in the police station knows who Bob Dylan is. I'm telling you. Finally, calls are made, and he's released just in time to get on stage to play the concert. God bless Bob Dylan.
Hey, you don't understand. I play music. I'm a singer.
Did you ever make a song about that situation?
I don't think so. not to my knowledge, but I've always loved that story. Oh, and my good friend, his name is Blake Bradford. He's happens to be a Black American out of Chicago. He has a friend that's in Jacob's band. I don't know what position he is, but it was just funny back in the day. That's all I could say.
You can't arrest me. I'm Bob Dylan.
We almost get stoned.
I know. But you have to understand he was dressed like Bob Dylan, so yeah, he looked like he might be a problem, you know. And then
You're a homeless man.
I know. They arrested him. They put him up against the car and everything. Then they took him into the station, and no one in the station knew who Bob Dylan was.
Yeah, they just looked at him and went, this guy's definitely whacked out of his skull.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: if they don't know who Bob Dylan is, how are they going to know what the Bill of Rights is? You know, I'm watching this dear guy, LFR Jojo. He's the son of LFR family. They're good reaction channel. I like watching these channels. I really do, because, you know, it's all about broadcasting the goodness, like the positive vibes, like Survival is talking about. And they listen to this white music, and they're Black Americans, and they're like, wow, this is amazing, you know. And I'm like, yes, keep listening. There's messages there. There's secret encoded messages, especially in Yes or Pink Floyd and these sorts of things. And anyway, the point is, no. This is like a couple weeks ago. He's 20 years old, LFR Jojo, and he goes, Who's Lionel Richie? I'm like, oh my God, we're lost.
Yeah, I'll do the Beetlejuice thing, Callie. I gotta memorize it, and I've been just occupied doing other things, and I haven't
Case of
practiced for a while.
mistaken identity.
Did you like Beetlejuice, Specs?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
I just haven't seen it in a while, but yeah, she has this thing that she wants me to say, and as Beetlejuice and record it.
I'll go to the other page and look. Still waiting for my Beetlejuice riff, Vexy. Okay. You guys are wonderful. I just want you to know that. Whoever's here tonight.
Thanks, appreciate it. But yeah, it's something that I want to do. There's this one part, I can't even think of. It's when I don't know if you guys remember the movie, but during that, in Beetlejuice is down there introducing himself to the married couple that died.
Okay.
He goes through this spiel and gives a little background about himself. Talks about he's from Juilliard and everything is, and this. And
Holy shit, you're doing that awesome. That was good, dude.
But yeah, it's a whole spiel, and I have to memorize it in order to do it. So, huh?
I hope I'm here that night. It probably won't.
Oh
be,
shit! Bob Dylan's son sang that song "One Headlight." Really? Wallflowers?
Yeah, that's Jake. Yeah, that's Jacob Dylan.
Trevor, yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that, dude. That's a good song. That's a good solid song.
Here's how you know there's. I know. Here's how we know there's evil. That guy should have had a career, dude. That guy should have had. No, I'm telling you, that guy should have had a career. That, you know what I mean? He was so young when he was doing that, and he was kicking it, and nothing ever again at that level.
Yeah, dude, the Wallflowers were great back then. I liked them.
Yeah, they had a nice groove to them.
Yeah,
overall.
they did.
Bruce Springsteen got up there and sang with them. I mean, it was like a coming of age for Jacob. It was a new dawn, a new light. But at the same time, we were losing Jeff Buckley, if you know him, who sang Hallelujah. Son of Tim Buckley from New York. He died tragically also. Jeff died falling over a little boat in Manhattan into the water, but his boots and his jeans, the weight of the clothing getting wet, it dragged him down. He sang Hallelujah more beautifully than anybody I've ever heard.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
It was very sad. But we're still going, right? All of us that are still left. Survival. In the end, there can be only one, though. Vex, God's night. I'm sorry.
There can be only one.
That's right. No, I'm telling you, Sean Connery told me this. I have a story about the Blarney Stone, but I've never been to Ireland. But I remember the Blarney Stone. We spoke. It wasn't in this lifetime, but I remember still very well. I was a boy in eternity. I am. We all maybe are children. It's hard to say. Shaquille O'Neal is much bigger than most children his age, but he is still a child in eternity. That would make sense, maybe, right?
Damn,
so, what's that?
No, I was just reading chat. She's like, damn, you autocorrect. I meant good.
Oh, I don't see that because I'm on the other page, just so I'm looking at StreamYard.
So was like Lickstone.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I was a little boy, so my parents went first in eternity. I mean, that's how I'm phrasing it, but it wasn't this lifetime. I was only there ever in the womb, though my parents honeymooned there. And so at a place called Ashford Castle that has a suite called Ballykine, and Ballykine is a castle that is in ruins now. It's nothing but bricks. You can look it up on YouTube, though. There's a video of it. This castle I was once a knight many centuries ago, and the soul of Ballykine is still in me. At any rate, there I am. In my mind's eye, I can see it now. My parents, they kissed the Blarney Stone. They do this thing ahead of me. I'm still young. I'm a little boy. I'm maybe like 7, 6. And there's a man there in eternity standing guard. But a nice, friendly soul. He's just there. There's a sign. I can't read the letters yet. They say to me, you don't have to do it. I'm so little. You see, you have to lie on your back and bend over, and there's a giant fall beneath you. And there's a metal bar that you grab onto. And you have to lean up and kiss, and my body was fully exposed. And then there was evil all around the Blarney Stone. I tell you, friends, there was. And the Blarney Stone was apologetic to me. I'm sorry it's like this. And ever since, I've sworn, one day, I will save the Blarney Stone. We will drive the wickedness away, with sprigs of yew, and ash and linden too, with holy water blessed by druids and priests eternal. We have obligations, friends. That's my Blarney Stone story.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Cherry Rain
is psycho.
He actually remembers his past lives, and as you can tell, he's got a very poetic way of talking. So yeah, it's very interesting listening to the stories he tells. Because that, I started laughing at the chat along with God's Night, because they were talking about the Blarney Stone, and it instantly made me laugh because I was thinking, I wonder if it'd be better if we wore masks to kiss it, but that wouldn't be the same thing.
No, you be kissing the mask.
You can't kiss the Blarney Stone anymore because
That's,
of
that's
COVID.
crazy. Chariots had multiple, dude. I've only had one. I think mine's pretty old, not as recycled either. Like had opportunities. Mine, I've only had one that I can ever recall, and I've tried and tried, and I've only had one. Well, I mean, two lives now, but one previous.
But there are many ways of learning, and lives in the material realm are not the only way of learning or gaining knowledge or being able to serve. So there are those who maybe have had one or two lives who will be rather, shall I say, yet unevolved, yet not less precious to God, and others who will step in and be magnificent in the beginning, or able to comprehend, accept, imbibe, and then, how shall I say, bring to the consciousness of others what is needed at this hour, though they have only had one or two lives, God's night.
I
Yeah,
kind of think
I understand, but that's what I'm saying, dude. Me personally, like out of my experience, I believe I've only had two.
I've
One
had many.
previous and this current one.
I never stop. I'll be right back. I got to get alcohol.
right on. Latin Patriot says, "Vex were they women in past lives?" Yes, it's very possible. I kind of think of if I put it into terms of doing a tour of duty as a life. I think I would, in military terms, be a lifer. I think I've been here many, many times. I don't remember much in the way of any past lives or anything like that, but my soul feels old. It
Yeah,
has
I
always
died and I
felt
recalled
old.
my past life. That's the only way I was able to recall it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I was anybody important or anything, but I think I did a few things that might have been good and bad. That's about all I know. Maybe I can meditate on it and see if I can reach those Akashic records and figure it out for myself. But yeah, it's gender is nothing to the spirit. So yes,
You can think of it that way. You're incarcerated in a perpetual life, so you
Well-
actually go back to the source, but then you end up coming back. Apparently,
well, yeah, that's why I call it a tour of duty, because we're here to do a job, and our job, I believe, is for us to experience what we're supposed to experience in our lifetime and bring it back to God, to add it to his mental, repertoire.
I lose myself when I listen to Arabic music. I just can't help myself. And
Yeah, I can't listen to that stuff. Something
I'm
about
just
it.
joking. I'm just joking.
Something about it.
No, but yeah, music is a good medium to use to relax, to unwind, to think, to meditate to.
Yeah, speaking of which, can you all hear that background music going?
Yes.
That is, I got the links for it in the description if you guys are interested in that stuff.
That's soothing music.
Yes, very soothing. This one happens to be whole body regeneration, full body healing, emotional and physical. So this is like an all-in-one type of frequency.
Yeah, I'm able to multitask, so I can listen to like 4 different songs and still distinguish each song.
Yeah, I'm not that good. I can do maybe 2, 3 max. 2 for sure.
It's just something I kind of developed over time.
Yeah, I never really tried to practice listening to multiple songs at the same time. I always like to focus on one.
I didn't either at first, man. I just did it for the hell of it.
Just to see if you could.
Well, no, just to see how weird it would sound. It's like, doing a suicide soda with every flavor of soda.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back. I missed a lot. There was
Welcome
good
back.
stuff, I bet. Thank you very much. All right, so the last I heard, Vex was talking about being a lifer.
Mm.
Okay, so it's like a flashback. All right, my phrase is once more into the breach, dear friends.
Yeah. Well, that's the way I kind of feel about it when people talk about past lives and stuff. I mean, it's the way I've organized it in my brain. It fits the narrative that I put forth, so I use it that way. Tour of duty. I believe if you're going to into this physical realm, I
Yes.
believe it would be a tour of duty. We are soldiers for
It
God
is.
to
Yes.
do
Correct.
to be here to do what we're supposed to do, and then when we're done, we move on.
Hey, Rose. Yo, Rose.
Hey, Scrimshaw, good to see you.
Scrimshaw, how are
That's
you?
my teacher.
So here's the situation. I mean, I'm just one heartbeat, I'm just one voice, and I'm just saying, gosh darn it, Vex, you're dead on right.
I hope so. I mean, I've been trying to put this big picture together. I mean, sure, a lot of the structure of it's kind of shaky, but for the most part, it's pretty solid what I've come up with. And it tells me that this is true.
Elmo.
It comes from studying from different, what would you call it? Methods, different areas of study.
Yes. Different paths of knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, putting it all together, finding the facts out of them, draining them down into a solid picture. And this points me towards basically what I've been talking about on most of my live streams. I mean, it all fits together, and it really, really, really fits together. And
You're right.
From what I've seen, this is the way it is. This is the structure of it. Now, obviously, I've never been dead before, so I can't tell you what's on the other side. But I can tell you about how the experiences I've had and how they work through my life and made me who I am. Which
I've been dead before.
Yeah, which is a soldier of knowledge. I'm here to learn.
Well, more than that, because you give so much.
Well, maybe I'm here to learn and teach at the same time.
Okay, I like that better. Thank you.
But yeah, I've always felt as though if I find the truth, I need to share it. This is one real good way to share it, is to make a channel so people can come at their leisure and go, oh, wonder what they were talking about on this stream. Welcome back, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, he just got into work.
Okay.
Glad he made it safe. He's a
I know,
biker,
right?
so he's all riding his bicycle
Oh, so you made it safe, huh?
in and out of
Welcome back,
traffic.
Striker.
What kind of bike? Do you know?
Yeah, probably a
big
mountain bike,
wheelie.
I would guess.
Oh, okay. That's dangerous, you know. I got run over by a truck on a bicycle. I don't like it.
Yeah, I got hit by a van once.
Oh, ow.
Yeah, that was fun.
How did you come out of it?
Well, actually, rather well.
Okay. I got a lot of titanium.
No, nothing that bad with me. It was basically just bruises and scrapes and stuff like that.
You know what's crazy? Right before I got hit, about 60 seconds, well, no, maybe 120 seconds before I got hit, I heard in my mind, is he going to the safe way? In other words, would I be using the crosswalk, or would I just be going home on the sidewalk? In other words, would I be in the road or not? And I thought, that's interesting. Why do they want to know if I'm going to be in the crosswalk when the guy came through at about 70 miles an hour?
Maybe they were laying bets.
They were setting it up, you know. I've been set up most of my life like that. It really sucks. But I'm still here, you know.
Everything's made for us to learn from, at least something.
I think there's been a treason upstairs, Vex.
No?
You know, well, they talk about the principalities, right? How we truly war against principalities, not against one another. What if there has been a treason upstairs? What if no matter what we do, it's the die is cast when it's not supposed to be, because it is supposed to be the truth of our souls, the liberty of them. That primarily is the point of the Declaration of Independence, I tell you. The liberty of the soul to walk righteously in freedom if it so chooses. In other lands, it was not allowed.
So, what if it's corrupt? What if the higher source that we've been moving through
Elements
is not?
of it. Elements, only elements, but elements.
Well, then what we're here to do doesn't change.
Correct.
Who we are doesn't change.
Correct.
That's for then.
All right,
now.
later, Survival. It's good hanging
Take
out.
care, Survival, man. Thanks for coming up.
Take care, survive. Survive.
And Well, yeah, God is our universe,
Correct.
and He will win. That's
Correct. But still,
this is
I
all
think God's
His.
heart. But I think God's heart is hurting. You know, I often pray for God's heart. You know, not just, I mean, of course, it's good to be gracious and thankful that God is a parent, and you ask for what you ask for, not a Mercedes Benz or a Porsche to make amends, but perhaps this or that, righteously and rightfully for yourself or for another, and you say thank you. But I think that I think God's heart is hurting. I think we have obligations, and you're right. We stand our posts. We walk the line, the long gray line, the long red line that stretches back through centuries.
Well, our job, I believe, remains the same no matter what comes across. And I really do believe we are information gatherers, God's probes into the universe.
Antenna.
Yes, receivers and senders.
Correct.
And
You are
that's-
right.
And that's what makes us so pliable. And that's why the masses had to be dumbed down. Can you imagine our whole planet filled with psychic people? Do you know how
Ve-
honest we would be?
Oh my gosh, Vex, you speak of utopia that Thomas More could not quite capture, but he tried.
Well, we'd all be connected, just like we were talking about the telepathy, man. We would all be connected on a deeper level to where nothing was hidden.
Yes.
Mhm.
But are people willing to do that?
That's the
Well,
thing, man. We also
they're
have
too-
that,
They're
that
too
what they
scared,
call
most of them.
that pesky free will. It's a choice.
But also a choice, as Vex would say, that has been misinformed and not
Mhm.
edified until unto the full choices available to the soul.
I see
Yeah.
a lot of us are aware of those choices, and we try to implement them or try to use them as best as we can, the best we understand them. Like I've had, like I said, dude, I've had those experiences with telepathy. I've had those experiences with making objects move or disappear out of my hand somewhere else. I've had those
Wow.
experiences, but as a child, as an adult, not so much. But like I said, like we're talking about the DMT, dude. I don't need that shit to see the weirdest, freakiest shit that a lot of people don't see that I see.
Wow. Sorry, dude. That's a burden.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, I don't see it that way. It just
Okay.
keeps me aware, dude. It keeps me
Okay.
aware, and it always reminds me of what's there.
Then it's a blessing for you, and you deserve this blessing. And we all have different talents. We all have different blessings.
Right, we all have different gifts, dude. We're all
Yes.
given gifts,
Yes.
and not all of them are the same. Some may be similar, but they're all different. They all have a purpose.
But what is the
That's
heart
why
of
we
the
have that
person?
purpose.
What is the heart of the person who brings their gifts to the table? If it's like God's Night or Vex, I'm privileged to be here.
Real quick, Sean, the answer to that question is yes.
Yes, agreed. There's a wonderful story of a great yogi who was very esteemed in India, and he made a tour of America in the early 1900s, and he was popular enough that he was very well received. But the reporters asked him, "How do you know God is real?" And they said, "Because I see him, just as I see you now, only more clearly."
Yeah, some people are blessed that way, man.
Yep.
They have a better link to the source, a stronger link, a stronger connection.
Beautiful statement, Latin patriot. Thank you for that. I just read it.
Yeah, that's it right there. Now, yeah, see, I see it clearer now than I did when I was younger. Because,
Okay.
quite frankly, when I was
don't-
younger, I had my mask of anger,
Okay.
so I only saw through it. Now, as I've calmed myself, I see the anger in others, and not just the anger. I'm just using anger as an overall. I see it spike in others. I see it vibrate.
You see it evident. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know it to be true because I felt it growing up. I was of it.
You know the path well. You know your own skin.
Yes. I was uniquely manipulative. And I knew I was, and I knew I was good at it.
At how old?
I think about 7.
I was gonna say I thought 7. I was thinking
Yeah,
7, but that's young as hell. Yo, but did you have to be?
Well, for me, I was mental and physical abuse. I was never like molested or anything like that. It was mainly emotional abuse,
Okay.
that type of thing.
Right from the get-go.
I
So
was
by
nothing
7.
from the beginning.
Okay. But yes, you all right, but you know differently now. But at that point, you were. I understand.
Right. So I knew nothing else but being nothing. I was that puppy who was being kicked every day.
God damn, man. I'm sorry. God, you know, in this compassionate sense of loving brotherhood, not obviously I'm not responsible, but because I hate when people say that. I'll say I'm sorry. They're like, well, you're not responsible. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, for me growing up, it was watching my older brother and younger sister get more attention, more love, that type of thing. And
Gotcha.
me basically carrying the brunt of their sins, more or less.
Gotcha.
I was always the one that was blamed for everyone. I was the Meg of the South Park.
That's a pretty good way to say it.
God damn.
Shut up, Meg.
Yeah, I was the one that was,
Yes.
if nothing else, it was Vex's fault.
Well, I was Kenny. They just kept killing me. But go ahead.
But yeah, so I knew nothing but this. So I was the stupid one. I was the fat one. I was the awkward one. I was the husky guy. I was all those negative things growing up. So it wasn't that I'm asking for sympathy in this regard. I'm not, because it made me who I am and how I can react to things the way I do.
Yes, but
Because
still, you
it
should
taught
have
me
love.
something that I needed to know.
Yes, but still, love, brotherhood is here for you for those hours.
But the lack of feeling that love throughout my life, now granted, I felt love, but in general, I would not.
I understand.
And so that lack of it made me see it clearly and when it was unclear.
Okay.
Like, for instance, at 8 years old, I told my mom that the Taylors across the street were going to get a divorce. And I played with them. I was hanging out with him. He was around my age and stuff like that. Legos and all that good stuff. And
what year, Vex?
I don't remember.
Like 1980 or something? Are you
Yeah,
about
it
my
was
age?
in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was early 80s.
Okay. Legos.
Yeah, but nonetheless, they weren't fighting or anything like that, but I could feel their tension.
You knew it. Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah, and I told Josh, I was like, man, your parents are angry. And he goes, no, they're not.
Oh, my God. Well, he was too close to it.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what it was or anything like that. It was just, I knew when there was tension because I knew what tension was.
Right.
So yeah, I told my mom that, and she was like, "Yeah, okay, you don't know what you're talking about," because she knew them too, and
she didn't see it.
Right. My mom happens to be actually pretty empathic herself, but she didn't notice it because she doesn't go over there. She mainly talks on the phone with them and stuff like that. Oh, hello, and stand outside and chat a little bit. But I was there. I was within the tension. I was bombarded with it.
You're incredibly empathic. That must have been hell.
Well, kind of, yeah.
But right, that's cool. But you're strong. You're good. You're husky, and we love you.
Used to be.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was.
I never was. I never got to be husky. So congratulations.
well, one of the things I wanted to point out was I grew up feeling this. All through my high school years, all the way up to there, and all that. And that was when I started trying to use it in a different way.
Okay. That's
instead of being liked by everyone, I would just be around everyone. Because quite frankly, every time I'd get into big groups or interactions like that, it was overwhelming for me. So it was easy for me to stand off to the side and be the wallflower. It was very easy for me to disappear, actually.
At what age?
We'll just say around 14, 15.
Okay. For me, it was 12. For me, at 12, 13, like 7th grade, I prayed, just let me fade into the walls. I'll be the observer.
Well, I wasn't up to that point yet. Just for the plain simple fact was I was still seeking attention.
Gotcha.
You know, I was looking for that love I didn't get at home, more or less.
Right.
So I was joining whatever group would have me, type of thing. You know, that
Okay,
was
right.
when I first started smoking pot and cigarettes and stuff like
Okay,
that. You know,
okay.
that type of thing.
Sure.
And then I got into high school and started realizing that I had, well, I called it a superpower at the time. I could disappear in the middle of a room.
Okay. Me too. Now, how did you do it?
With me,
I used to do it all the time because it's just too much.
it wasn't me doing it necessarily. It just happens. It was it wasn't even thought of. It just happened.
But you realized it was happening at the time?
Yes.
Okay, wow, cool. Look, all right, this is awesome, man. So this is kind of very similar to what I was experiencing, but through a different pathway, right? From a different, maybe a little different lens at the time. But I understand.
Yeah, like I said though, I didn't understand exactly what was happening, but I was intrigued by it so much that I started experimenting with it and letting my logical brain come out. So it actually taught me it actually began to give me a little bit of a foundation to control my emotion.
Good, of course, yes, naturally. It would, because you realize you have an ability to control. You do have a position of authority in yourself.
Yes, exactly that. I found a foothold and was able to climb through it. Now,
beautiful.
And during these, like, I go to parties on the weekends, and all the cool kids would go to it, but I was never invited, type of stuff, right?
Sure.
So I'd show up anyway and go and have a blast and talk to a bunch of people and all that stuff, and then I'd go and basically when school was back in Monday, I would talk to a bunch of people then, low key and stuff like that. Nobody would remember I was even there.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. And
you liked it.
Well, also at that time I was kind of a thief, so I used it to my advantage.
Okay. I wasn't walking that path, but it's like being a super spy, isn't it?
Exactly. That's one of the things that I thought of when I was doing it, because I'm still relatively a kid, so I'm thinking this fucking fantasy world that I'm invisible in. What can I do? And I'm like, I'm gonna rob people, because quite frankly, I was robbing people before, but I started learning about this superpower I had, and quite frankly, I experimented with it.
Yeah, well,
directly.
Yeah, no, do. Here's the thing, though. In India, these would be called siddhis, SIDDHIS. Do you guys know the term?
No, I don't.
Okay, it's just basically it's their Hindu word for superpowers like this, right? Okay, so the problem with the superpowers is they can be a downfall, right? It's supposed to be for our good, to help. Sometimes people are blessed with these things. Somehow Vex managed to navigate all this. This is nuts. But here's the thing. All right, so yeah, I totally know what you mean. All right, so I was the same way. But the thing is it was so evil. I was like, all right, so I got to go invisible, kind of. I know I could do this. It's middle school. Vex, this is great. Keep going. You did good. Vex, here's the thing though, Vex. This is my concern. Long time. All right, so what I have to do, I'm just speaking this out loud. I'm not prepared. This is not a prepared speech in any way. I'm just trying to release my heart a little bit, because it's been held back. As you know, they try to hold our hearts back, my soul, etc. I've been murdered for at least 39 straight years, probably more like 43, but whatever, we could talk about that later if we get there. But the position is, now I can speak, now I can breathe a little bit, and I must. But the voice is but the sustenance, right? If the heart is right, the gifts we bring by the emanation of our hearts through the human tongue, which is a blessing unto mankind, that we might use it for the bringing of God's kingdom. If I can talk a little, but there are so few people, God's night, and those listening that are gracious like Vex. I never mean to monopolize. I've not been able to live, and I did have gifts to bring.
Well, everybody does. But using something that you might have learned doing bad things and using it for good things is a good thing.
Yes. All right, so I got so upset with the United States Senator. This MFR, he's going to pay personally, I promise you. This was decades ago. And these nice gangsters, they were no longer gangsters. You know, they were gang members, like, you know, like Crips and this sort of thing. But they'd been through it, and they were older now, and they'd been to prison, they'd been back, and they wanted to go talk to the young guys. And the senator says, why should we fund a program that allows these guys who were gangsters once upon a time to speak to young guys? They're criminals.
Yeah.
No, they were guys who had made it through. They were guys who understood like Vex did because he already understood what it was like. And they wanted to teach and preach, and they were good guys. And this ignoramus is like, no.
Thought crimes are now making us all criminals.
I shall not stand for this thing.
Knowing what you can do and what you can't do is your foundation, and your spirit will guide you in that regard. Your gut. Use it well, or else it'll come back and bite you.
To not misstep, and yet to also reach and stretch and try a little harder for the one that's about to drown.
There is something to karma.
As we were speaking earlier, you were touching on this. It resonates deeply throughout the conversation, but I say I'm not sure. I admit that now freely, and yet I cleave to it. I have, at least in the past. This too shall pass, yet it has not for a long while.
Well, it's going on 1:30, and I'm getting a little bit tired. So I'm going to go ahead and close this down. I want to thank you guys for coming up here. And we've had a great chat tonight. I really do appreciate it.
Invite, man.
Thank you to Survival. Thank you, God's Night. Thank you, Chariot's Reign,
It was
for
good
coming
hanging
up.
out, Chariot.
And
You guys are precious souls. I support you fully, though we never meet. Fight on.
thank you.
All right,
And with that-
everybody. Good night.
With that, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I thank you all in chat for participating. I really appreciate it. You know how much I love you guys coming here and engaging. And I really do appreciate you. With that, I yield and bid everyone good night and sweet dreams.